The last best of three is going to be a tough act to follow, but Fnatic and Furia will try their damnedest here at the CORSAIR DreamHack Masters Malmö B stream. You should know our names by now. We've been taking you through all of the games here on the B stream, but it is myself, Vince, and I'm joined again by the beautiful, the handsome Dust. How's it going?
Dude, thanks, man. I appreciate that.
There you go.
Yeah, we also got some beautiful teams on board as well. Fnatic and Furia. Of course, Furia throughout the tournament, they lost their opening best of one in a very close game against the new G2 on Train, but then have won best of threes against Envy and Ints to find themselves in lower bracket finals. For Fnatic, they had a similar route. Lost their opening best of one as well, but then 2-1 Tyloo, and they absolutely curb stomped G2 2-0. Those games weren't even remotely close. Krims looked like God mode version of himself in that series. Had like plus 35 on the series with very little rounds played. Absolutely incredible stuff there from them. Obviously, Fnatic comes in with a brand new team in this tournament, bringing Golden and Flusha back to the starting lineup. It's their first time playing with Brolin. Many of these guys played together, though, in the past, like in 2018 and things of that nature, so definitely a lot of familiarity there. Flusha, JW have been playing together almost their whole careers. So definitely lots there. And then Fury obviously came in with their new lineup. Henny coming in for Able J. Obviously, both these teams have had their struggles this year. Furia started out really strong, particularly in Dallas and at ECS and all that, but just really fumbled the ball at the major and in some other recent events. And so both these teams looking to kind of turn their fortune. And the winner of this will go on to the playoffs. So it would be that big tournament finish, or at least the start of one, perhaps, that they would need to kind of course correct their rankings.
Ken, I mean, if Fnatic can get this W, there's going to be two Swedish teams in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Which is going to be the first time for quite some time. I mean, Swedish CS used to be the mainstay, used to be the big boys of Counter-Strike, and they have somewhat waned away, I think it's safe to say, though. So a resurgence would be certainly a welcome change for the Swedish fans.
Absolutely. Now, we are on Overpass, of course. We're starting on the T side, so I guess this was their pick. They were 7-5 record on Overpass coming into this tournament. They won the last 3 in a row, however. So it's been getting a little bit better for them. Maybe they feel comfortable with it. Though JW also feeling pretty comfy here. Though he's trapped in the corner. He's got the CZ out. Somehow he gets a second kill before finally going down. Impressive plays there.
I was expecting a one and done to come in there, to be honest. I thought you'd just get instantly traded. A CZ would trade the hands, but not really the case. Furia, because it all happened so rapidly, have plenty of time left allocated to them, just over a minute. With 2 smokes and a Molotov, they are setting up for the A execute. No one watching connector, so it is going to be an all-out hit. Let's see how Fnatic can hold on. Molotov to the back of the boxes. Not going to bother anybody. Flush is actually way more passive in the back. This does leave Brolan somewhat alone, and now Flusha is going to pierce through the smoke, claiming onto Yuri. Still in position. The bomb hasn't been planted as of yet. Henny may feel compelled to at least try and go for it. Fake out, see if someone comes to him. It's not going to be the case. No plant for the Brazilians. The Fnatic retain 3 players.
Pretty dominant pistol round victory, really off the back of JW, making a huge play in connector early. Flusha, big there as well. Him and Krims have been playing a fantastic tournament so far. So good to see those two in form. You feel like that's going to be kind of the bread and butter of the team alongside Brolin to really do a lot of the heavy lifting. So to see them come up already is certainly nice for the Swedes. Furia do have some P250s in play, but that's really about it. No armor utility behind this. No bomb plant in the first round, so no option to go for a buy. Saving up for the next one.
Full save, really. Not too much. JW going to be flashing over for the peak with the UMP. Arts, though, going to be playing the wall. Not that it really helps him anyway. Still gets his brains removed. Golden, though, could be tested by multiple players. Has just landed the one bullet onto CORSAIR. Vinny's also going to take some damage. ADR is going to be spiking for Golden. Bomb gets dropped out, still doing a bunch of pain, hurt, and misery to Furia. Was a full eco, so can't really get too carried away by it. But Fnatic do maintain all 5 players, which is great for their economy.
Absolutely. Curious to see how things are going to go here for Furia. Opening gun round is going to be on the horizon. No AWP, though, in play. It has been Henny taking it over pretty much all the time that we've seen thus far. does. Again, the question we were kind of wondering, would it still be Art or would it be Henny? As it is his classic role as well. But it's just Sigs, AK, a Max 10. The aggression, though, from Fnatic up close on Fountain could be a big problem. Art so far dealing with it.
The MP9s can start to shred this kind of range. Grenades also going to bank off the walls. Max on to Henny. He's down to 49. Still, though, keeping with the SG, running out of bullets, running out of health, but Vinny is there as a secondary precaution. Just to make sure that Fnatic can't entirely push this. And the trades actually work against the Swedes. Furia have the player advantage.
Indeed, they do. They handled that pretty effectively. While there was some damage dealt, they still come out on top on that push through Fountain. Now they're able to get through connector to B. Perhaps there was a push from Golden through Monster. He does have control of long portion of this, and he can watch the cross through the short pipe. Meanwhile, Crims has a lock on connector, but they are stranded from each other. They have no support. Crims tucked into the corner, blindsided by Vinny, who's been the real hero of this round for the Brazilians. Gets them into this A-bomb site. This should be a done deal. Golden should be saving this M4.
Yeah, Fletcher really using the off angle, but leaves himself so exposed and so vulnerable to that connected push. He'd completely banked on them re-peeking through on the balloons or Fountain. Golden, though, is potentially going to be able to save an SG, which would be a
that would be nice.
Certainly a solid takeout of the round. Plus, there is an incendiary just to his left-hand side. Full grenades.
Can't buy too much around it, though. I mean, Brolin and JW's money won't be too bad. Maybe Golden could drop something, but Crims is really low on cash flush and not that great either. So it's going to be up to them on how they decide they want to split up the resources. Could still come up with something in the next round. Furia, in the meantime, look to hold on to their 3 weapons. There's a small chance Golden might get caught, or he might even be able to drop a few of these. They are near each other.
So indeed, he will save. Fnatic have some decisions to make. If they did go for a buy here, Dust, it would be a pretty rough one.
Yeah. Well, Golden could drop a rifle, and everyone else can pretty much buy themselves. Maybe like one player who wouldn't have a gun. But no, they take kind of a more middle-of-the-road approach. Golden actually did pass the Sig originally to Crims, but he gets it back. Deagles are out for Crims and Brolin. Scout for JW.
Yeah, I think the issue there is they could have got weapons, but not much utility. And
Right.
They were worried about, you know, if they do force, they get beat, they're reset, they're in real trouble. This at least gives them a little bit of a foundation to build off in this round. And if they are successful, then Furia will be certainly feeling the sting.
Art already making a lot of forward progress by himself with bathrooms, and he does do that quite a lot, to be fair. You got to always look out for Art to make these aggressive plays solo through bathrooms and through middle. A boost has been detected at short B, but it will be fended off. No frags go either direction on that one. Meanwhile, Art is just... Do they realize where he is? I don't think so. It was a long A push from JW and Brolin. Art could just blow this whole round up by himself.
You feel like he's going to be the difference maker. No one's going to be able to get around the back of him. You're starting to see JW, but he's actually just sticking on the site. So Art's going to be able to call for his team. Doesn't want to shoot too early. Now they're going to realize that he's here. He did a lot of damage to Crims, who spins around and 1-deeks him. One player advantage, but this is where the extra utility and firepower should really come to the forefront. You would have to take something absolutely lightning from Crims to pull this clutch off. To just pull this defense off, honestly. Smoke down from his teammates, though, does allow him to get a bit more into position. There's heavy fire, heavy duress through the smoke. He's going to find Henny. There's going to be some questions called between the players. Here comes Brolin as well. 8 seconds to go. Fury have got to get on this site right now. And the jump past it is in the water. All JW has to do is survive, and Fnatic have pulled it off. How in the hell did that happen with Art's flank? They should never have won that round.
No, not at all. Art is such an X factor, and he's able to do it all the time. It's actually uncanny how much Art gets away with these little aggressions like that. Yet somehow, even though he got 2 kills on the flank through B, Crims just teed off with that Deagle, man, and that caused the bomb to fall in a very unfortunate position when it was all said and done. There was no way for Fury to get it back and plant, despite the massive edge they had on the round. And that is a crazy one for Fnatic to pull off. I mean, they didn't have that much invested into it, for one. For two, they were far behind the Art's play. That despite everything, they still win. They're up 3-1 right now. This is really insane.
It's so nuts. He gets 2 kills and dinks Crims, I think, down to like 8 HP. So
Yeah,
he did everything he could have done there.
Yeah, and Crystal gets 2 kills.
Yeah, with the Deagle. Roland up close. Art this time pushes. The timing, though, is not favoring Fnatic this time around. Yuri can't quite connect the dots, but he knows that JW is still lurking in the smoke. JW, though, is undeterred. He is still sticking in position. Now without flashbang, though, he realizes that he just has to get out of there. Flusher, I think he just got hit through the smoke there from CORSAIR.
Not quite sure, but we do know that Furia have a leg up in this round. Created a lot of pressure towards the A side of the map, keeping Crims and JW honest. Gold in the solo kind of B defender, playing it passively from Graffiti, just playing for information so he can call for a rotation. As I say that, though, Golden actually starts moving up a little bit here towards the sandbags. He could be in for some real trouble getting pinched from Monster and Short at the same time. He's good for 1 kill, but that's going to be it. Smoke up on Heaven. Fnatic cannot view this bomb come in.
No, they can't, and Furia are not going to allow time to become an issue. They've learned from that previous mistake. The smoke is not going to cover Crims enough. In case CORSAIR will oblige by putting the SG into him. JW, last player standing. There's the first pick. It's not going to interest him in going for the defuse, though. He has no nades or kit.
Right.
So he's out of there. Furia are going to strike for a second time.
Indeed they are. Keeping this game as close as they can early on. It's been back and forth the last 3 rounds for the 2-0 start from Fnatic. And JW not even able to save. Vinny was in position to put a stop to that. So it's going to make things even better. As the money is very low outside of Roland for Fnatic. So again, it's probably just going to be upgraded pistols at best. That's great for Furia because they could use a kind of a freebie round. A round where they could win convincingly and hopefully build their own bank accounts. Because they also are in quite a fragile state. Apparently, we are having a bit of a technical pause going on. Apparently, a little bit of a lost issue or something like that in the server. So, might be at a standstill here for a bit. Did have this happen early on in the first series as well, funnily enough. Got resolved a little bit. Didn't have any more issues the rest of the series, so hopefully it'll be taken care of.
Apparently 7% loss, which does definitely make a difference, especially when you're trying to play at the top tier of CS and a playoff spot is on the line. You don't want any little issues springing up.
Right.
Admin says that they're looking into it, so maybe a similar length pause, unfortunately, to what we had in the first best of 3.
And unfortunately, that comes earlier. There's really not a whole lot to discuss here between these two teams. We only had 5 rounds played. Again, the big thing I'm kind of curious about is this is, I think, the first time that Furia has played Overpass since Henny's been on the team. I don't think they've played any other games throughout this tournament. So again, the question will be, like, apparently it's been resolved already, so we should be back into it here in a second. Apparently, again, like, I don't think I've seen an Overpass match from Furia in this tournament. So again, not really sure if Henny will be the primary AWP. He has been on all the other maps they've played, so it seems like they've been making that transition and just letting Art and Yuri be that entry combo over on the A sides of the map. So it'll probably be the same here. I imagine CORSAIR and Vinny's positions probably won't change too much. CORSAIR's typically been kind of an outside B player, with Vinny usually playing that connector. They usually have been kind of the solo players for Furia for quite some time, so I imagine that's going to be the case still. The big thing, though, is that Furia is not just some default team. They move very, very fast, particularly how they like to control those bathrooms rather rapidly. It's when their quick B executes as well, so pretty much the pressure is going to be on Fnatic the whole way through. Like, they're not really going to have very many slow rounds where they get to kind of settle into it. They're going to have to deal with fast-paced play. We've already seen Art pull off a pretty big maneuver earlier on. Didn't wind up getting the intended result, but you definitely could still feel the threat. So we'll have to see how things play out.
So the maps in this best of 3 going to be obviously Overpass first was Furia's pick, second Inferno, obviously Fnatic, and finally Mirage.
Nice.
Are our 3 maps.
Good amount of good maps.
Seen quite a lot of Mirage this tournament so far. It has kind of become the new Dust 2 to some degree. I mean, it's always been up there as one of the most played maps, right? So it's not a huge surprise.
And then same with Inferno, always been a classic.
Yeah.
Overpass also a classic at this point, it feels like. So it's nice. I like it. I like these maps. Keep me away from Vertigo and Dust 2 as much as you can, and I'm a happy man.
I'm right alongside with you, especially Dust 2. Like Vertigo, I kind of like because of the fresh feel of it, even though I know it's
Yeah.
not a great competitive map. But like, yeah, it does too. I
Fair.
don't know, man. I've casted, played, and watched it too many times.
Yeah, so indeed, we do indeed apologize for this. Unfortunately, there's not much we can really do about it, despite popular belief sometimes. Vince and I don't really have much control over the situation, so we're just kind of hanging out with you folks. If you have any questions you want to throw in chat, you can. We'll try to answer them if we have time. Not sure when this game's going to kick back off, but we'd like to try to hang out with you folks a little bit whenever we have delays like this. Get you folks involved in the conversation, try to answer some of your questions. But again, just not sure if we'll get to. It just depends on when this starts. Apparently, they are looking into it, and we're still waiting for an update, so...
Well, last time it was you that fixed it, Dust. So just hop back on the plane.
Oh yeah, man. I've already done round trip once, bro. It's a little
A
strenuous.
little bit rough. Hmm. Oh,
Yes, I know.
apparently,
Your resident
apparently
sleepers are heard.
Art and JW saying that they don't have loss anymore. So I don't know if that means that everybody's in the same boat or if it's just their two PCs are all right and everyone else is messed up. But obviously, we're in a position where we're not entirely sure an ETA on when we will be starting or exactly what is wrong. So as Dust said, we are kind of in the same position you guys at home are, really. Just eager for this to get started back up again.
Somebody asked, what do we think is wrong with Vertigo? Why don't we like it? Was kind of one of the questions from Duke Silver, a classic Parks and Rec reference. Appreciate you, dude. For me, I just think it lacks tactical diversity. Like, I think it's really just... Well, at this point now, it really is just if CTs dominate map control very early on both sides of the map, because now you can actually get aggressive at A ramp, at the sandbags and such, and you can also push B stairs and pretty much stop terrorists from ever even getting into like that lobby area below B stairs. So a lot of it's that way, but also it just feels like T-side strategy. There's really no like kind of classic map control play on the map. Like it's definitely seemingly a lot more like fast-paced set pieces. I guess you do have some control now because of how A ramp plays out. That is kind of, I guess it's not going to be similar to mid control, but at least that's kind of its version of it to some degree. Because mid right now is basically just used for like backstabbing and such. Like it's not really a focal point of the map. I hardly ever see mid utilized by anybody except for CTs maybe pushing to ladder room. So I don't know. To me, it just kind of just lacks depth. I mean, but as Vince said, it also has that kind of effect of being like super fast paced and shocking all type of CS, and so it can still be exciting because it is like kind of smaller in that regard and a little bit more close quarters. But I don't know. That's why I don't like it personally.
Yeah, I think one of its weaknesses is also, strangely enough, a strength for playing, for matchmaking, that sort of stuff. I think it's very fun casually, but not great competitively. A lot of what Dust said is mid control isn't really a thing. If you look at even Overpass, Dust 2, Mirage, all the classic maps, Inferno's the same. Mid has such a big integral part of the map where flanking, getting mid control, Cash is the same way as well. He can get through like vents, mids, up highway, etc. In Vertigo, you don't really have that. It's so fast, the rotations are so quick that it doesn't feel like you can really outplay the opponents that easily because it's only a few seconds to rotate from one side of the map to the other. But at the same time, that does mean that sometimes you get a lot of very aggressive fights kicking off in the first 5-10 seconds down like a ramp. If they're rushing B, for example, it can be very entertaining in that respect. It can just be a bit of a mess. It's maybe a bit too chaotic depending on which teams are playing.
Yep. Got a question. How many fish heads you had today, Dust? Plenty of fish heads around me, mate. Also got a question. How long have you been casting? I've been casting CS. I did Source since probably 2009. I've been with CSGO since the very beginning, since the beta in like 2012. What about you, Vince?
I want to say like 2005 or 6, maybe somewhere around that. That was more for fun though. I think I started taking it seriously maybe around like 2008 or 9. So yeah, long time. I'm old.
There you go. Not too many other questions really have come in, to be honest.
Maybe mainly just copy pastas and people saying the casters are bad. Keck is like brilliant. Thanks for that.
Yeah, we appreciate that.
Do we have an ETA, Ruben? Do we have any idea?
Gotcha.
They're checking still. Okay.
Yeah. We did have a question come in. Was it Greyhound's performance or Liquid's performance that led to the results? I definitely think Liquid choked Mirage. I mean, there's no question about that. They had the 12-3 lead from their T side. They should have been able to come up with 4 rounds on CT side Mirage to win the game. So I definitely think that you have to kind of put that one to Liquid. Nuke, though, I don't know, man. It didn't seem like Liquid made like too many crazy errors. It felt like Greyhound just had a really good game plan and still did very well. So I'm almost inclined to say that Nuke was really Greyhound, and Mirage I think was more of Liquid failing. That's kind of my general. I'd have to like watch it back and like really think about it, but that's kind of my gut reaction.
Yeah, I mean, keep in mind that we were very much involved in it, so it's hard to get an overall feel for the game, focusing on each and every sort of individual play and what's happening. But my opinion would be it was a bit of column A and a bit of column B for both maps. I think, yes, did Liquid choke on the first map? Absolutely. But give full credit to Greyhound getting multiple 1v3s, 2v4 clutches, putting the bullets in faces. Like, it doesn't matter how bad Liquid are playing, if the likes of Sicko and Dexter are just rattling heads instantly round corners, you have to give them credit. So I think it's a bit of both, honestly. I would really hate for people to take this result as Liquid were just really bad today, because Greyhound deserve much more respect than that.
Sure. Definitely been performing well. Remember, they also got the upset over EG earlier in the tournament as well on Nuke, so they've done really good. "15 years casting CS and still sucking at it." I mean, you really suck at math would be the one thing I would add to that, because I have been casting CS for 15 years. All the same.
Or maybe
though.
maybe he's talking about me, because I've been casting for
Uh-oh.
longer.
Okay, yeah, maybe it is.
I can confirm, yeah, definitely. I mean, there's not much that we can cast here, guys. You know, we haven't even seen a full map yet. 5 rounds played. Ruben's making some strange noises in the background.
Yeah.
Is
Also,
that,
our
is that good or
casting's
bad?
good. You're just an idiot, so I'll say that.
Oh,
Uh-oh.
oh, saucy.
Hold on,
Front
folks. we
page
gotta
of
do some
Reddit.
information. What is it? What is it, Ruben? Tell us.
They
Oh,
have problems again. Brilliant.
that would have brilliant. Thanks a lot with
there.
breaking news here.
Ruben Holmes has cracked the case,
Captain
boys.
Obvious has come to the building.
They have problems.
We thought we were gonna get like some spicy new details. Nope. Still no idea what's going on and when's gonna be resolved. And scenes. Any more questions in chat? Or do you just want to keep telling us that we're bad at our job? I mean, you guys can pick. You want to listen to EDM music? That's also an option. We'll give it a couple of minutes, see if any more good questions come in. If not, we'll go to break. All I can really do.
Now big loss. Oh dear.
Seems to be getting worse.
Oh
Tech
dear.
issues are going on.
Why don't you start the gamecasters? Because contrary to popular belief,
I know, it's just so good,
contrary
isn't
to
it?
what the seemingly majority of people think, we actually have no control over tech issues. We're not engineers. We're not PC mechanics. We don't fix lights. We can't fix the internet. We're not internet engineers either. We're just commentating from home, dudes. Like, we are at home right now, in the same position as you guys. So
Which is
we
why the
have no
mic,
bearing on it.
which is why my mic has sounded a little bit rough, because obviously it's all over the internet and it's a European server. I'm in NA, so it does take the quality out a little bit. So I know a lot of people have been asking about that for whatever reason. Sorry, I don't have like a $1,000 audio studio at my house. Like, you know, I can't go. Anyway, we did have one good question come in. It was, what do you think of the Fnatic roster so far? And do you think they'll continue to gel further over the next couple of months? Kind of just getting a question on us on the potential of the team, I guess. I think it's just way too early to call, man. Like, I've only watched them play like 2 maps so far, right? So there's really no telling. I think it all depends on if Crims gets back to like a really good form. Flush, obviously, Rusty hasn't played in a really long time. Been like, I don't know, was it like 7 months off, something like that, since he played with Cloud9? So you guys have to kind of wonder. I think Brolin has a lot of potential, so I think he could be like a star for this team. So I think I think it really hinges on Flusha and Crims and how well they get back in form, and then Golden as an in-game leader, having to step up as far as shot calling goes. Like that's really, there's so many variables in play there. It's way too hard. Way too hard to call. Your thoughts, Vince?
I think you covered everything there.
Okay.
I'll just say +1.
There you go. Have you guys casted any other game?
Yes.
Yes. I casted a little bit of COD 4 on PC, but not not that much, honestly. I did 1.6 and Source, other than just Go. And I randomly casted this game called Shoot Mania a long time ago. And also a little bit of this game that's out now called Battalion 1944. So I've done some other casting outside of CS, yes. Vince, I know that you have obviously had...
I can't remember all the games I've casted, but COD 2, COD 4, COD 1, CS 1.6, CS Source, CS GO, World of Warcraft, Battalion with you as well, Dust. I did a little bit of Overwatch, but nothing serious. I'm sure there's other ones. I've casted a long time and plenty of games. League of Legends, of course. I casted League for like 4 years. So
right. Someone asked, who do you think is going to win the tournament now? This is actually a very interesting question because 2 of the top 3 teams in the world are already out, with EG and Liquid being eliminated. So far in the playoffs, we have guaranteed Astralis and Vitality, Navi, and NiP. The winner of this makes playoffs. Winner of Mouse Sports Greyhound makes it. I mean, the favorite's obviously Astralis at this point, bro. Like, they looked really good at the major. They won it. I know they lost to EG in New York in the best of 5, but they've looked good so far this tournament. They haven't really played big opposition yet, though, to be fair. Their Vitality match is going to be the big one for me. So obviously Astralis is the favorite, but I think that Navi have a good shot. They seemingly have looked pretty hot so far, fresh off the roster move. And I think Mouse Sports is a solid dark horse, man. I think they got an unlucky draw at the major. I think they actually have a really stacked lineup. I think they have a good shot. If they can get past Greyhound in our next best of 3 and make it to playoffs, I think they have a good chance to make a good run. That's where I'm at.
I'm just going to go firmly with Astralis.
Okay.
I think Astralis have this in the bag. Hot off the major. A lot of the other big boy teams, as you say, have been knocked out fairly early on. So I think this really is Astralis' event to take, honestly.
Are you wearing pants right now? No. Funnily enough, I'm not.
That's hot.
He's finally done it, the madman. He's finally done it. I'm wearing shorts, to be fair. Like, it wasn't anything spicy, but it is technically not pants.
What's the cast about WoW? It was WoW Arena, so it was like the PvP version of WoW. I did that a little bit. Nothing serious, by the way. You didn't say like professionally or top tier, but yeah, there's a lot of stuff out there. What was the first game you cast? I assume you mean like, as in CSGO, CS Source, whatever. For me, it was COD 1. I assume it was CS for you, Does?
First game I casted?
Yeah.
I think it was Source, yeah.
Yeah.
Any other questions you see that you fancy, Vince?
Is Vince a robot? Yes. It's why I have no emotion and my voice is very monotone. Yes.
There you go. Never heard you hype at all, to be honest.
No.
Anything else, Vince? Any other good ones?
People keep asking, why is it delayed? I assume there's like an influx of new viewers coming in that
yeah, it's
kind
probably
of
fair.
You know, in the last few moments. Basically, there's loss on the server. There's server problems. So Fnatic and Furia obviously don't want to play until everything is looking smooth. Understandably, there's a playoff spot up for grabs. Most memorable moment or match while casting, for me, was probably Ents versus Liquid at the Katowice Major, because that was just massive upset in front of a Polish crowd that was just incredibly loud at a major. Yeah, that's definitely my highlight. How about you, Dust?
I think it would maybe be that best of 5 we casted together for Civo when it was like the Brazilian Tempo Storm team. Any of those players in the server right now, actually, or no, I guess just Henny. Played against like Virtus Pro, and Virtus Pro was still really, really good. This is like, you know, early 2016. And it went all 5 maps. It was, at the time, it was one of the very few best of 5s in CSGO history that had gone all 5 maps. And we, you know, casted that together. That was like, we had a ton of viewers at the time as well. So I think that was like a pretty big moment for me. And then, I don't know, being a part of E-League Season 1 was obviously very special just because of how big of a project that was. So I'd probably say one of those things.
Do you enjoy reading Twitch chats?
No.
Sometimes.
Yeah, I was
Sometimes
say,
sometimes it's a mess, let's be honest, but sometimes it's funny.
you know how it's like they say finding a needle in the haystack? You know
That's
that
finding
whole
good
expression?
comments. Yeah.
It's more of like trudging through shit to like find a bone. I don't know. Like there's just not. It's way worse. Put it that way. Like you're
Find a
really
find a bone.
a fish head bone. You know, like
Oh, okay. He's brought it all back. Full
yeah,
circle. All right.
reel it all the way in.
I was getting worried there.
Vince just likes the swimming part. You know.
Oh, Sal.
I mean, I don't know where you want me to go with this, man. Like we're trying. Who would you consider the best Swedish team right now? Fnatic, NIP, Gamer Legion, Jalapeno, Ancient. I don't know, man. I
Hard to
probably
say.
couldn't even tell you who's on Ancient and Jalapeno right now. Didn't they just make a roster change, Ancient? Didn't they just get like Draken and somebody else? So I don't know what the hell's going on with those teams. I'm gonna be honest with you. At least I'm just gonna be real. Like I'm not gonna talk on my ass try to make something up. Like I actually don't know those teams very well, so I can't even really comment. Gamer Legion just came together. I'm pretty sure as well.
Yeah,
Like
they've
so,
had quite a few changes as well. They had Screaming HS and they had Draken and
yeah.
Rusty, and then they had somebody else. It's like I don't really
Too
know.
hard to say. And then as far as like Fnatic versus NIP, again, still way too early to call. Like just no way I could possibly give you a good answer on that. Then someone asked me like a business question about salaries being sustainable. I'm just not privy enough to the business side of it to really answer that question. It's not that I'm ignoring you, dude. I really don't know the answer to that because I'm not very much on that side.
Ruben, do we have an update? You'll have to see it.
You do love to see it.
He said
We're
no.
doing
I
so
just
good.
realized you can't hear him.
Yep. No update. All right.
What ranks are we? I think I'm like Supreme, maybe. Can't remember. I don't, like to be honest. Let's be real here. Counter-Strike ranks mean absolutely nothing. There's people in Global that are trash. There's people in Gold Nova that are actually good players. I mean, I wouldn't base too much on someone's CS:GO rank.
I don't play matchmaking, so I don't have a rank. I mean, I guess the highest I ever was probably Supreme, but I just don't really play much matchmaking. If I do play, it's like occasional pugs on Face It with like Bardoff, or like occasionally I'll play like from NA in EU matchmaking with like Vincent Thorin, like just randomly here and there. So I just don't play enough, honestly. I don't really have a true rank anyway.
Interesting question here. Does casting? I assume what he means by this is does casting like top tier teams improve your gameplay on CS:GO? I would say for me personally, yes. I think it improves like game sense and certain things if you you don't have to copy what pros do, but it gives you an idea of when they push, the kind of timings on peaks, smokes, flashes, that sort of stuff. I think it does help you.
Yeah, I think it gives you like a perspective on strategy. I think it's you learn nades from it as well. It's kind of naturally kind of get like a common idea on like what certain things look like. So I think it gives you like a better mental game. Obviously, it doesn't make your aim any better though. So if you're shit at that, then you're probably still gonna have a hard time. But I think it somewhat more game sense, and I think that just goes literally for anybody out there who watches a lot of CS, right? Like, just if you're watching demos, if you're studying the game, you're gonna know more about it. So, yeah.
What map do you think will get replaced by Cash? That is the question right now, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it's probably gonna want to be in Mirage. It's not what I want personally, but it's probably what makes the most sense as far as when you think about how long other maps have been in the pool. Like, it's not gonna be Vertigo, no chance. Not gonna be Inferno, no chance. Like the only other map I can think of that's been around for a really long time that maybe hasn't been changed in a while is Train. But
True.
I mean, Train already has had a pretty big overhaul like earlier on in CS's history, so I really doubt that they would change that one either. So I think it's probably between Mirage and maybe Dust 2 again. But it's yeah.
Yeah, I think probably Mirage would be my bet. Although I wish it was Dust 2, but that's obviously just not going to happen.
Oh, definitely not.
Oh, It looks like we
Oh.
may be starting, and the admin just said if it happens again, we'll pause until it's fixed. So they need a restore on the round because some people disconnected. So it might be a little bit longer, but it looks like we are getting ready, guys, to get back into this.
Yep. Hope you've enjoyed this podcast.
Thoughts about Newcastle? Someone just asked me that question for real. Can't answer you because I'll be fired. So take from that what you will. Garbage. It's the nicest way I can put it.
That's the worst question you could have asked Vince right before he has to go into a cast. Like, he's just gotten him riled up now. He's gonna
What
be
do you
fired
think
up.
about Hayden nearly breaking someone's leg, getting sent off, then losing 4-0 against Leicester? Oh, I'm loving it, man. Loving that. Feed me more.
Oh, I
4-0.
can't wait. I can't wait now. He's just so triggered.
I'm even being trolled off our producer. What is this? Right, here we go.
Ha ha, cast to start the game. Ha, you're so bad. Ha.
He's had a breakdown.
I've done it. Here you go. I started the game. There you go. You're welcome. We just want to hear ourselves talk for 30 minutes before we cast to the next round. So hope you enjoyed it.
When we've just casted for like 30 hours the last 3 days. That's
Yeah.
all we wanted is more talking, guys. That's
Absolutely.
exactly it. Here we go, though, Dust. It's real. It's alive. The dream is here. And Fnatic have such little to play with. This round could be over pretty fast.
Does seem like it should be, considering that Fnatic are just on a Deagle, a P250, 3 USPs. Art will be leading charge to the Mac 10 here into the B-bomb site. No one really behind him. He's kind of on a scouting mission with Mac 10, trying to see if there is a stack here, which it does seem like Furia realize is indeed the case, but they haven't backed off just yet.
Roland, though, we saw Crims in a similar position really break the backs of Furia. This time, though, Broland gonna have to really start to tee off from towards the water. This is the same spot that Crims had them earlier on. Deeg not gonna be his ally this time around. Crims, long-range USP, trying to bait for JW to get into position with his P250. There's the one kill, but that's where it's gonna end. And the Brazilians tie us back up at 3-3.
Only losing a couple of players along the way as well, so pretty efficient, all things considered. Fnatic able to get back onto the buy now, though. AWP is going to be out. Passed over to JW. No question now who the primary AWP of this team is. I know when Twist was still on, it was kind of a bit back and forth, but with this lineup, you can know who it's going to be. Taking it towards A with Brolin.
Molly to the barrels. Gonna force Golden out. Lots of utility already expended on both teams, but still plenty on their belt. You always worry as well here, Dust, when you have a pause of that length, which of the teams is going to be affected more by it. You really have to get that mental fortitude and concentration back on track as soon as you can.
Yeah, Furia taking their time. They were setting up for maybe something heavier towards B, but now they've fallen more into a default setup. And again, it's the same positions we thought it would be. Henny taking over the AWP, Art and Yuri being that entry combo, but JW was in connector. He spots one cross, but now he's trapped down here. Vinny is a normal player to try to stop this, but he's been silenced by Crims. Door been blown off. Yuri, though, might still have a way to prod his way into this A bomb site, but Flusha holding him off for now, but now he's been dealt with. But Brolin catching CORSAIR. It's getting wild out here.
It really is, and now Broland's getting around the back towards the bomb carrier of Art. Still 35 seconds left to get across to the bomb. But Art may need some help. He's about to come head-to-head with Broland. The timing could completely shut down Furia. He gets the kill, but only 20 seconds to get across to the bomb. Golden is all alone, smoked off. The kill on JW was so vitally important on the Brazilian side. That bomb is still coming through the long. It's going to be very close. In comes Golden. He's got the first kill for free. 8 seconds to go. Art is going to go and try and chase him down. Golden spraying through Art. Unfortunate not to get the kill there, but Furia just about get a 4th round.
I almost lost that one, though. It almost ran out because of the clock. Got to give your hat tip over to Yuri, though. Big 3 kills there from him. Again, he's one of the heartbeats of this team, being that entry fragger. I know CORSAIR has always been really hyped as being kind of that very clutch, more to mid to late round player, but Yuri has been that big driving force on the entry, the kind of stable entry, while Art is kind of the more wild one to the X Factor type entry. It's given Furia a well-balanced kind of play where they can do all ends of the spectrum. This round's just going to be a handful of deagles and a P250 for Fnatic, so Furia a great chance to keep building their lead.
The order of play, Fnatic not really playing anyone aggressively other than Brolan, who's still in the bathrooms. Crims is just behind him on short, joined by JW. So forward positions have been taken, but nothing too audacious or crazy. Meanwhile, declaration of intent from Furia. Bomb's still back on the T side of Connector, so they are going to be taking this one slow and steady. They know exactly what's up against them. Bit of a whiff flashbang, lands in the eyes of Yuri. No problem, though. CT's not pushing them.
Again, Furia, after being a bit cautious early on, anticipating maybe some type of aggression or gimmicky play from Fnatic, are beginning to gather up here with 45 seconds left on the clock. And bullets being exchanged around the smoke of mid. Art leading the charge up long A. The bomb carrier close behind, and Art does find Brolin. So that was the solo A defender, as this was a B stack for Fnatic in the late round. They'll have to transition back into a fully held out site.
Well, the Fnatic snaking their way up to the backside of Bank and Dumpster, maneuvering into position, hoping to retake what was once theirs. But the terrorist flag has been planted down firmly in the form of a bomb. Art is in, will be dropped by Golden this time. How he wished that was the case in the last round. And now Flusher with a USP will finalize onto Henny, but he's basically just looking for exit franks. There's nothing to save here. No Kevlar, no nades, no upgraded pistol. So, I mean, his life is basically deemed forfeit. If he can do a bit of damage on his way out, all the better for it. But they're out of there. And I think they've thrown the guns away as well. There's really nothing apart from a deagle for Flusher to get his hands on.
Well, there was a SIG right there by the dumpster, so maybe Flusher will get to it in time. Guess he didn't find it. Either way, obviously enough money for Fnatic to buy back into this. There is a chance for JW, but they decide to go for 5 rifles to make sure they can get enough utility. There's no kit, though, so that will impact a retake situation if it does come around. SIG's aplenty for Furia. Op still there for Henny. Going for maybe some quick short B control, but the incendiaries are there. It's been extinguished, however. Yuri and company do take a bit of chip damage. They do accomplish what was their main mission, and Vinny catches Brolin. That's a big one.
What a flick as well to Connector. He wasn't even looking there originally. He was looking at the potential jump. Just spins around, headshot to Brolan, put 6 foot under. And this is quickly starting to get a little bit worrisome now for the Swedes. That's 4 rounds in a row. Their economy hasn't really developed at all, and potentially going to be going 6-3 behind.
Yeah, this would have been a very one-sided score if it wasn't for the Fnatic 1 pistol. That's really kind of giving them a foothold still, despite the shortcomings in these rifle rounds. And I was expecting a pretty hot Fnatic, considering how well they played yesterday against G2. Now, granted, that is a brand new team with no practice together whatsoever. They just met each other at this event, basically, so that is definitely a special case that kind of helped that result along. But still, we did see some good play from them against Ilu as well. But Furia, they've really impressed me throughout this tournament thus far. All the games we've seen have looked sharp. This is no exception. They are gathering up the remaining members over here towards the A side. It really is just going to be on this gimmick that JW has in the left-hand corner. If he gets unchecked, he could be big, but if not, it seems like Fnatic would just fold.
Well, they're getting to that point where at low time, where corners like this may go unchecked because your attention is elsewhere. JW is going completely uncounted. Only the 1 kill. The smokes are good on Bank. Slight gap, but that's going to be the end of Crim's life. Now Flusher can't do anything again for the 2nd consecutive round. He's in a 1v4. He's in a impossible clutch scenario. No nades, no kits, no health left. Furia will indeed hit the 6 rounds.
Indeed they will. They are popping off right now. Again, worth noting, if you're talking about individual performances, Henny was brought onto this team to be that added firepower, to increase the skill ceiling of the team, to help shape out the roles a little bit, get Art back into entry rifling. And he had a massive series yesterday against Sense, it has to be said. So did CORSAIR. So their individuals have been showing up. Technical pot, just kidding. It is a tactical one.
Got him. Tactical, of course, called by Fnatic, as they have been against the ropes for quite some time now. Pistols with some utility and a couple of Kevlar. I'm curious, in rounds like this, you always kind of want to see something aggressive or something out of left field.
Sure. Especially one HE grenade. It's a little bit odd. Usually you need like multiple of those in a round like this to have a chance to nade stack something, but instead it's just the one HE for Flusha. Nothing really aggressive here for Fnatic, to be fair. I mean, they do have a stack, though, on the B side of the map. There's the other option when you're gambling in a round like this to maybe have a chance that they do go B. You might be in the right place at the right time. But I feel like Furia has had this similar opening every single time. They're letting Henny just kind of pick Monster. CORSAIR, who normally defaults B, is always there. Furia doing a great job controlling either connector or short B or both. It's kind of the other big thing besides mid control and bathrooms control that you're going to fight for on Overpass. Is just getting this short B. It gives you a staging area, it denies CT information, gives you a quick transition over to A if you want to swing it that way. So they've really favored this opening, and it's worked well for them so far.
And to be fair, maybe that's why Golden hasn't made the call to go aggressive, because they know that Furia have been so slow. They could be walking into crossfires and angles where they can't really get anything done with the pistols. If you stack sights and Furia plays for like 20-30 seconds left, that's where maybe the pistols can come in, just as Brolin's done with his Deagle. A bit more time, though, than in rounds gone by. And Fnatic are now going to start to traipse their way up towards the dumpster. There is a smoke down in the eyes of Flusha, who's the first one in. HG's coming over. Not enough, though, to carpet bomb Henny off the bomb. So plant will be forthcoming. And it should just be more of the same and rinse and repeat from Furia's perspective. It's hard to see how Fnatic really get anything from this position now. Yeah. There is Kevlar to save for Crims, but that's about it, really.
Yeah, they're just going to try to go for what they can, see if they can't just push out, bang together, and hope they land a nice little pistol shot. But Art has other plans with this Sig up close. Snitched out Crims as well. That's going to be 3 for him. Doing a bit of stat padding there. JW hoping he can maybe just creep in and find a weapon. Or get a kill, but he's going to find neither one of those. It's round number 7 for Furia. And that is now 6 in a row. Tough day at the office for Fnatic.
Say again.
As I said, tough day at the office right now for Fnatic.
Yes, absolutely it is. I mean, it was Crims that went, what was his score, like 37 for 8 with 170 ADR or something absolutely bonkers yesterday.
Oh yeah, dude, he was teeing off.
But he hasn't had that same impact, it's safe to say. No one on Fnatic over 7 kills. Meanwhile, Art on 11. Now they're switching up the pace. Now they're going for the jugular. Is it going to work out for them? There's a Molotov down on Golden, but he doesn't get the kill. That really should have been one. At least a 1-for-1 trade does come through from Crims. He's going to get mollied out. They may be looking for a boost. Double Molotov now. The flank from Fnatic is just non-existent. They're all going to be one-dimensional pushing. A third Molotov. They are stalling this out so long.
This is one of the best layered fast-paced execs I've seen, man. Their nade usage on this attack has been flawless. They're still trying to go for it on the Fnatic side. They're trying to cross graffiti, but Henny at the pillar with the AWP. He's already found one. That's going to be another. Chalk it up. It's for Furia again. 8-3 is going to be the score. 7 in a row, the method of how they've done it. And again, that was a brilliant execute. They smoked out the Molly Monster. They Molly barrels. They chain Molly graffiti to stop the rotation. Great trading. Golden had a chance to put a stop to it, but missed that opportunity, and Furia capitalized. JW will save the AWP, but the Brazilians are really hot to trot right now here on Overpass. Their map pick. Again, the loser of this is out the tournament, winner to playoff, so it could be a very different tale depending on how this result goes.
Here comes the AWP again for JW. He is a top fragger for Fnatic with 76 ADR. Meanwhile, Art 112, and they're going to just rinse and repeat. They're going for it again. Straight out onto B. A carbon copy, but this time way less firepower, utility, and manpower on the site itself. Fnatic completely caught spinning. JW and Brolan going to be coming downstairs, but the hopes of really getting anything to stick here are so incredibly small. And surely you just want to save the AWP from JW. Fair enough, Brolan can afford next round, no problems. They've got max round loss bonus. That's a hefty investment for JW. If he dies, it will be lost.
Yeah, I can't imagine why they aren't just backing off at this point. Maybe they're worried they might be getting flanked from A or something like that, so just want to hold position here. It's very unlikely that Furia would exit towards them, so it is a good thought. And that's a good read from Furia. When you know that you're up against low economy, there's not going to be any nade stack or incendiaries or anything like that that are going to stop you from rushing through that monster tunnel. It's kind of similar to when you press out T-Con on train against low utility. Like, you know you're going to be able to get out and get into open space. And unless they've stacked it or they're holding like some really close angle, you're usually going to have a pretty good time steamrolling through. And again, it is that pacing change. Furia has been playing slow the bulk of this half, which is nice to see. Like, it's good to see that they have that foundation, but they still have that in their DNA. We've known them to be that assertive team, and now they're starting to roll out those fast-paced attacks, and they've been very successful.
I mean, this really has been a masterful display on the side of Furia so far on the T side. 2 of the rounds off the pistol, the 3 rounds from Fnatic in the first 4 rounds. After that, it's been 8 on the bounce. The Brazilians unrelenting. Art has taken quite a bit of damage. Thwacked away, down to 38. No fast play this time, though, Dust. They've slowed it down again to a stall, to a grind.
It's back to the slow and steady here for Furia, incorporating this in their game. But here's the thing. Art is soloing at A, and he is very crafty at being able to maneuver around bathrooms and sneak in behind enemy lines. So you always have to kind of keep your eye out. And in fact, I imagine that's why they're stalling at B. They're waiting to see what is Art going to be able to get away with on the other side of the map. Like, is he going to be able to press into bank and flank again into B and give us that pinching option? Or can he at least create enough pressure by himself where you see Art there and you're worried that it's going to be an A attack? Or, hell, never mind. They might just transition over now with that kill from Vinny. The bomb is already close behind. So it's going to be a bit of a fake out from CORSAIR at Monster. It is going to be an A attack. And Fnatic, they're not aware.
Not quite yet, but time again is dwindling. JW headshot onto Art, tries to peek around the corner. See if he can steal away a life. JW hyper aggressive plays. Classic JW. Vintage JW. 3 kills with the AWP on the site. 13 seconds. Vinny has to chase him. And meanwhile, the bomb's not getting planted. CORSAIR's nowhere near Vinny. They need to feel very exposed and vulnerable to being charged down. Bomb will be planted. JW's watching connector. That's his 4th. He's on for the ace, and Vinny, try as he may on the site, is about to become a dead man. JW, unbelievable plays. Single-handedly takes Fnatic to a 4th.
That is indeed just a great individual effort, and that might be the spark Fnatic needs to get back into this game. JW on top of things the entire way through with AWP, catching the push from Art at long, popping on top of the box to catch Henny off guard, the close range action as well. And I think the most brilliant move of all was when he backtracked through bathrooms and caught CORSAIR coming through connector. If that timing goes differently, CORSAIR might have been able to get a backstab and still salvage the round, but JW was wise to it. You got a little bit of everything out of him that round. Clutch, fast opping, all the like.
Can't ask for more from JW. Now leapfrogs to 13 kills. Nearest player on his team is Golden with 7. Not a position you expect Golden to be in. Not necessarily the best fragger on Fnatic, not by a long shot. Furia, though, flashing through onto Monster. Going to try and draw out some more grenades, but there is a smoke that's been placed. As CORSAIR is waiting for it to clear. And Golden, up on the perch, is going to sweep him aside pretty easily. So Furia, who were getting a lot of the opening picks earlier, now actually conceding them.
Yeah, CORSAIR thought that he might be able to get the timing on that smoke, but now Art again doing these solo aggressive plays towards A, but JW is going to have none of it. He's hot off of the last round with the ace. He's looking for another multi-frag opportunity here as he gets the one op shot, but now he'll backtrack. There is a little bit of a push going on here from Yuri, looking to take up the spot Art took. Will JW catch this timing? I don't think so. Yuri seems to have to jump on him in a big way. There's the A bomb site starting to crumble a bit, but this is all the sham bits. It's going to be a B hit in the end, but what can Yuri do to try to help it along?
Oh, Yuri is in so much trouble right now, and to make matters worse for Furia, they're trading the other players over. They may assume it's only Flusher here, but this is where Brolan on long can be the linchpin. Flashes over, 2 of them in total. Vinny's now going to push behind them. That smoke is still going to help them to cross, but there's no cover from Long. There's no surrender from Fnatic. They're going to battle until the bitter end, but so is Henny. He can't go backwards. He can only go forwards here with the bomb. And Flusher takes him down before time. So at least Henny hasn't been money screwed. Although, to be fair, he's got plenty of money anyway.
In his last round as well, so they'll be good to go. 2 in a row now here at the very end from Fnatic. Furia were very near double digits multiple times, and Fnatic have held them off. And, you know, if you find the 6th round, you win pistol in the 2nd, you're right back in the game, so they could just salvage this half despite the fact that they were getting run on for quite some time. It was an 8-round winning streak for Furia before Fnatic finally woke up, and the big part of that was just the ace from JW. JW with another big round there, getting that opening kill on Art. He has definitely been the one that's had the resurgence to really get Fnatic back into a competitive position. But what's going to happen here on this last full buy? Furia have often had a good amount of pacing changes and utility uses to get them some big rounds, so we could very well still see them find number 10.
More of a fake from CORSAIR, throwing a smoke and a Molotov over. It has drawn out an extra flash and indeed a smoke coming up from Golden. They're depleting some of the utility. Still 4 smokes in play though for the Swedes. Find out that no one's connector. 2 of the defenders are in bathroom though. It's Brolan and JW playing side by side. JW peering up on the balloons. Brolan's just next to him. They're going to get forced back. This body system, is it going to be a good one? No, it's not. Vinny massacres them both. The culling has commenced. And Furia looking good for a 10-round winning streak. Going through into that second half, Flusher and Crims can do little but soak up some bullets from their Brazilian counterparts. And Colden in a 1-on-5. This would be one of the plays of his career if he pulled this one off. The first kill's gone out. There's that great cost to his health, though. 3/4 has been extinguished, and he gets banished until the next half. 10-5.
It being half for the Brazilians here on their pick of Overpass. 10 on the T side. We'll see if their defense is up to snuff as well after we get back from the break. Stay tuned.
It is Furia's choice of map, and they do lead 10-5. The Swedes have really tried to battle back into this, but some exquisite T rounds. We'll see Furia with this pretty drastic lead. The question now, Dust, is can Fnatic return the favor? What aces do they have up their sleeve? What can Golden do in this IGL?
They're definitely going to have a tall task ahead of him here as a shot caller. Going to have to call pretty much a perfect T side to get his team back into this one. As the pistol comes through, we do see a boost here from CORSAIR at the back wall. Spotting over, doing damage, but not able to find the kill, and now he's been found out. In the meantime, though, Fnatic has transitioned through connector to bathrooms. They cause Fury, obviously, the bite on the B attack, but now we even could see Crims backstab. If they just give Crims enough time, he could blow this thing up, unless someone begins to rotate to pick him up.
He has crept ever so quickly around the back of the CTs. Finito is going to force them to actually back away. So all of Crims' brilliance may be undone. He's just sitting in the corner, waiting for the CTs to get back on the site. Meanwhile, Henny finalizes onto Flusher. This may put more CTs across as he spotted a couple of them retreating. 2 of them died as they tried to pull back. This is all on Crims now. Does anyone check this corner? It's possible they have, because they haven't played anyone actually on the A site itself. So they may be unsure as to what's going on here. Maybe even Long. Yuri, first round the corner. Crims is now showing his hand, but he's missed everything. And Yuri slaps him away. The flank does nothing. JW, in the meanwhile, is the last player to fall. Fnatic, they had the chances, but they snatched at them and they missed.
Yeah, I just feel like that was a blown opportunity. Crims having such a deep position. If they could have pressured B a bit better to allow Crims to backside, I feel like that could have been brilliant. Instead, they decided to transition back very early on to the A site and just kind of have Crims sit and hold position, but nothing ever came from it. And so Furia holding Fnatic off. I'll take it to 11-5. Fnatic onto a bit of a force buy here. They did not get a bomb plant, so didn't have a chance to buy up in this round, and now they're kind of forfeiting a chance to buy up in the next.
Furia now on the fast track towards claiming their map. It's going to take something big from Fnatic, especially with this force buy, as you highlighted. Moving through systematically, trying to clear out mid and bathrooms. Yuri is there with the MP9, playing on the long side. Crims may very well peek this. It's down to timing whether Yuri goes for the peek, and he does. There's hefty damage inflicted with a dink onto Crims, but still the kill's gone their way. Art with the scout, watching to see if they try and pick up the MP9. He actually decides that he wants it himself, because he knows this is about to get a little bit too close for comfort in terms of angles, in terms of round itself. He alleviates some of the pressure, and now the charge is in. The button's been pressed, the engage is imminent. The bomb is crossing to the site. CORSAIR is going to get a freebie onto Flusher, who pushes through the smoke. Art, in the meanwhile, puts his SMG to use, riddling Crims with bullets. Brolan perched up on the dumpster. And it's going to do more damage yet. The M4 trades hands, used against the counter-terrorists. Both chiming in together. Out jumps CORSAIR. No bullets left. It's down to Golden. There's the one dig. Vinny doesn't know what hits him. Fnatic bounce right back.
A very crafty round from Fnatic, catching that M4 in the corner and getting him for free and getting that into Brolan's hands made the world of difference. I thought Flusha got a little bit extra greedy there on that smoke push, and it could have cost them, but it winds up not mattering. Brolan and Golden able to piece it together, steal one away from Furia early on that force buy. So now it's 6-11. Furia forcing right back there. We're going to have a scrappy start to this game, it seems, to see who can win a couple in a row and force the other to tap out and take a save. Golden putting his digs over at Art. He gets tagged, though, in response.
Flusher only succeeds in flashing himself. Fortunately, there was no one there to make the most of that mistake. Art peeks out too aggressively. Not going to be the first or last time that we say that. But in this kind of round, understandably so, with Deagles. Going to be instantly neutralized, though. Brolan's SG's aim is true. Triple stack maybe here, Dust? I think they're going for the triple boost up on Graffiti, but they actually whiffed it a little bit, so they're going to turn back. And there's actually a player close by, which is Flusher, and he would have heard that jumping.
Absolutely. He might not know that all three of them were there, though. He might have just thought he heard someone jumping around. But either way, Fnatic are going to be looking to pressure over toward the safe side of the map. Crims and the bomb carrier Golden clearing out bathrooms with Brolan. Everyone else now starting to make their way over as well, save for Flusha, which is kind of a classic role for Flusha to be kind of this lurk on the opposite side of the map. Meanwhile, Fury are just trying to entrench themselves with these Deagles and 5-7 and see if they still can't maybe figure something out. Henny does have a weird spot that might go unchecked.
And you can use that smoke as a bit of cover. Henny, in the meanwhile, able to rattle off enough Deagle rounds to make a kill land. Golden and Brolan, though, doing solid work to take the site. Fnatic making the most of that Furia mistake.
Absolutely. They've closing the gap on a scoreboard in a pretty big way. They're going to get an opportunity to do it even further, as Furia do have to take a save in this round. They have lost the early economic battle, so they must save up for the greater war later on. Just USPs, so this should be very easy for Fnatic. Should being the key word. Every now and then you can get a death buy without these USPs, but it's not going to happen, it doesn't seem.
Golden's going to hold his nerve for 2 kills, with Brolan and Crims chipping in. As you say, though, full USP round, not really expecting much, but this is the reason why. They're now going to have a buy. Unfortunately, though, they're not going to have an orb. No one can actually afford one.
That is very much the case. Luckily, Art and Henny are still very capable riflers. So they definitely still can do a pretty good job, even if they don't have the big green in their hands. Fnatic, though, want to play into this is going to be kind of the question. Do they want to play it slow and default? Do they want to come up with something else? Does seem like they are leaning a little bit heavier towards the B side of the map, but now they've left Flusha there by himself.
Some damage inflicted to JW, but it's negligible, just 11. I think it was through the wall and the door of connector. Not great bullet penetration through both of them. Flusher again here, Dust. Same position, playing passive in water, waiting, seeing if Furia push him.
Yeah, again, no surprise to see Flush taking up this role for Fnatic. Can't think of many other times he hasn't really played a peripheral role. Meanwhile, Crimson Company looking to barge through the bathrooms. There is a player up close that would be Yuri. That could blindside them at some point. Incendiary actually pushes Golden back here and slows down Fnatic a bit as they do want to pounce on this A bomb site. And they break through. Again, Yuri still has this spot, but now it's being spammed at a bit. Yuri forcing himself backwards. Dots, they know he's there now.
They've both been called, though. They've both been dealt with and squashed. Brolan will be the first man to enter the site. There's a Molotov. CORSAIR's burning to a crisp. Finished off by Brolan with a 2K in the round. Vinny and Arts nowhere near enough funds to make this work. Hell of a flip, though, from Vinny in midair. Flusher dead before he hit the ground. And now Vinny has to withstand the tide of T's and hungry Swedes who want to get through on home ground. And they'll do just that. 9-11 now. Furia are struggling, man. Like, this CT side, for all the brilliance that we saw on their T side, it just seems like they're out of their depth now against Fnatic on CT side.
In the meantime, you could go ahead and capitalize the last 3 letters of Brolan's name because he has been on point right now in this LAN environment on Overpass. He had that one big M4 rounder in the force buy. He's had a couple different multi-frag situations over on that A side of the map. He's leading the team 17. Vinny doing those honors for Fury with 21. Actually having a great game.
Yuri, one of the players that you're really looking at to step things up a notch up there with CORSAIR, having a bit of a slow game. Triple boost this time is going to play out. CORSAIR at the top of the tower.
It's a bit interesting seeing JW solo connector, even though he's the primary AWP of the team. I wonder who will take that up whenever he does get an op in his hands. He has at times played peripheral positions for this team as a rifler, so it is something that's in his wheelhouse, but I thought it might be something that someone else would take up. Either way, we'll figure that out later, as we do see an empty A bomb site about to be waltzed into by Fnatic. Taking their time. This boost still being held by Furia, hoping someone would come through short, but unfortunately for them, that's just not going to happen. So it should be round number 10 in just a moment here for Fnatic. They will meet Furia in the double digits. Had a lot of close games today, to be fair.
We have. Yeah, absolutely. It didn't look like the first Greyhound Liquid map was going to be close, and then, well...
We know what happened there, yeah.
You know the rest, yeah. They are going to walk onto this free site, as you highlighted, with the boost. A stack over on a B. It's only going to be Henny that comes across. All of these guns are expendable with full round loss bonus. You don't need to save any of them, honestly. So Furia may be looking to damage more so than save, but I'm actually going to back away. Can even treat this as a mini timeout for what's coming up next.
Tis very true. Maybe you try to get an exit kill or two at best. Try to force some rebuying out of Fnatic. Maybe get a free weapon for yourself. It's about the best you could hope for. Fnatic's economy is balling out of control. I don't know. I mean, it would take so many rounds in a row for Fury to force them to save at this point. Something to think about. Meanwhile, Fury's economy is still quite fragile.
As are Furia with no armor, and Crimson Brolan will oblige with kills. 1 round deficit now. Fnatic, since the very beginning, when they took a 3-1 lead, have always been trailing.
Here we go. Still a 5-5 setup for Fnatic. No AWP purchased. Want to keep that momentum rolling. Henny will have a crack at AWP finally here on the CT side. Attempted to hold them back with that fire, but it has been extinguished, and so Fnatic will make their way into the fountain and playground area.
Oh dear. Art, again, aggressively going to be caught out and repelled. Damage inflicted through the monster smoke. Vinny and Yuri both fall to around 60% HP. It's going to be a worrying trend on the side of Furia now. Maybe feeling desperate to throw some of these smokes down and just try and slow this round down a little bit. See if they can maybe catch Fnatic playing slowly and timing themselves out. But judging from Fnatic's positioning, 3 players just outside of Monster. That's not going to be the case. They're moving together now as a unit through Short and Monster simultaneously. Vinny and CORSAIR pulling smokes out. That's going to get CORSAIR killed. Vinny, in the meanwhile, going to try and claim some victims with his M4A1S, but it's only one. And then he's done. Yuri up in heaven. Henny has no interest. He's got the AWP he wants to save. Fnatic are going to pull off 6 rounds in a row on their T half.
Yeah, they're going to tie this thing up, and they have a great chance to go ahead and take a lead as well, because the only 2 guns that Fury will have in the following round is this AWP and M4. The money's just not there. Even with max loss bonus, the only player that would really have money is Art. Leg shot here from Henny, and they might not even get these 2 guns over, Vince. We do see Fnatic, they are hungry to try to force a full pistol situation out of Furia in the following round, make it easier on them to get that number 12. And Henny, though, good for 1. JW trades it right back. However, said Op's not going to carry it over. Now Yuri just trying to see, can I at least save this M4? He's gotten the kill he needs to carry it over, but yeah, that's big to lose AWP. They could have really used that. And now it's 11-11. Make a wish, Vince.
I wish Newcastle would stop being so garbage.
I don't think you're supposed to say the wish out loud, otherwise it doesn't come true. So you kind of
maybe that's why they're so bad.
Yeah,
it's definitely not because of that. Anyway, so Fnatic, I mean, what a turnaround! This is
it's great,
quite the surprise.
Loving it.
Brazilian fans across the world will not be loving it. Flush is going to wait for that pesky train to get out of his way so we can toss the flashbang over. We've seen a few of those flashes get blocked over the duration of the last 3 days. Double stack in mid, one of which is the M4 wielding Yuri, and Vinny's the other one that boosted him up. It has been a success. They're not going to be able to get their hands on the gun, but they're going to get the first blood for quite some time.
One. They're not done boosting, Vince. They're going to do a third, or second boost with 3 players, I should say. At least they're trying to. Will they hear this on the Fnatic side of things? They're right there by the door. Fire, though, is actually burning right next to us. That may have kind of blocked out some of the sound of this boost. So Furia might steal a round away with 2 different boosts on opposite sides of the map coming into fruition. We'll have to see if that 3-stack comes into play, but certainly that boost over towards the party area was massive. There's so many boosts on this map you have to watch out for. You can't really fault Fnatic for not checking. But if they all go monster, then this boost won't wind up mattering.
Also, Furia's economy is in an interesting position where they could have force port, and Fnatic, they haven't heard anything else apart from the M4, so for all they know, actually, Furia do have some guns here. Flashes and nade being exchanged on the water. That triple boost is still intact. They're just making sure no one's in the smoke at the site. They're going to be able to get the plant because no one went short. Furia's triple boost has not been a success. Their retake options are fairly limited with 2 flashes and a smoke. Fnatic can just shield this. There's the M4 again. Yuri with a 3rd kill with the saved gun. Here again is the importance of saving. Just the 1 rifle can make such a big difference. And Fnatic have 2 of them at their disposal. Crims is going in. There's the first kill. 66 HP left, but they are sticking on the bomb, and he's missed his spray. That's the round done. Furia picked it up with 1 M4 and 1 UMP.
Right when Fnatic were about to take a lead for the first time, Furia holds them off. Well done. That's the other advantage of having the 3-stack on B. Even if they don't come short, you still have 3 players already ready to go for the retake. Not only that, but the other 2 Furia members have pushed through bathrooms and were right next to connector. So while the bomb was being planted, basically all 5 Furia members were already in position to retake. They caught Brolin trying to escape through Monster, and then they just pounced from that point forward. Incredible play from the Brazilians right when they needed it most to stay alive. Now they're going for something aggressive over here towards the fountain area. They're pushing Fnatic back.
I've pushed them back, but Fnatic still have plenty of flashbangs of their own. It's going to be blocked though from Yuri. He has the fountain as his cover, as his shield, and it keeps him alive. He's also going to go in for seconds. Brolan is looking to try and come round the corner. There's one good flashbang though. Stops him from picking up the second. Yuri, who is weakened by Crims, will be finalized by JW. So for all of the aggression that Yuri pulled off, we are still down to a 3-on-3, albeit with JW, the walking wounded.
Indeed, it was a really great job there for Fnatic. They actually kind of battled their way through a really tough spot. Now, Art has gotten aggressive here into connector. He might even be able to get up the ladder and flank behind these 3 players. It's all going to come down to timing. CORSAIR being the one that's just kind of trying to hold And there is indeed Art. He's crept up. He could indeed, again, backstab through that playground area. He's actually deciding to go outside B, though, instead, so he won't get as much out of this as he was hoping for. He's hoping that he and perhaps Vinny could pinch any type of outside of monster play, but that's going to be not the case. It's now all going to be on CORSAIR. He's getting a little bit of a rotation help from Vinny, but it's not going to be there fast enough.
Maybe because Fnatic is so slow here. They haven't fully pulled the trigger. Now with the kill on Brolan, they're going to be forced to. Molotov in. Vinny could burn alive. No, down to 40. But the damage has been inflicted. 20 seconds to go. Flush is going to go for the plants. He knows that CORSAIR was last seen long, but he's not entirely sure whereabouts on long. If he's made a move around the bathrooms, which is exactly where Art is. There's the spray down. Flusher, 18 HP to his name. We've seen JW pull off some vintage work earlier. Is it Flusher's time to wind back the years? Get back into that godly kind of form that we've seen in the past. It's a good Molotov. It buys him up a little bit of time, and he's going to go all the way around long. He's assuming they're going to start tapping and messing about with the bomb, but they're actually sticking on it. This flank is not going to pay off for Flusher. You can understand why he's done it with such low HP, but it has backfired.
Oh my goodness, man. Furia are coming up huge when it matters the most. Fnatic were right on their heels, but now we see Furia starting to sprint towards that finish line. The economy is still so great, though, for Fnatic because of all the rounds they piece together that they're still able to full buy no problem. So Furia will get no easy rounds on their path to map point, but we've seen them finally be able to wake up. They've made some of these aggressive plays work. They're outmaneuvering Fnatic in many ways. Starting to see some of the other guys really come online. Vinny was massive, and now you're starting to see Yuri really get into good form. Henny, now that he has AWP, he's able to find some numbers as well lately. Meanwhile, you're starting to see some players kind of cool off on Fnatic. Flush has never really been in the game. What's going to happen here? This is a really, really big round. The thing is, the CT economy is still pretty fragile, so if Fnatic can break them here, they could maybe get a low buy out of here and have a chance to tie it right back up. So a lot on the line for this round.
It's going to be soul-destroying for Fnatic as well after valiantly battling back with 6 rounds on the bounce on their T side. If they were to lose this now, going to take the wind out their sails. It's Furia's choice, of course, should be mentioned, but Fnatic still in this game, still have a fighting chance.
Absolutely. Again, taking it very slow at Flusha alone outside of B. They've yet to put an op in JW's hands, so I think they've had plenty of money to do it. It's an interesting tactical decision not to. They've been just letting him play connector a lot. Just really relying on Golden, Brolin, and Krim to try to find these openings towards bathrooms and A halls. There is a bait and switch set up here at long A vents. You do have Yuri up close on the wall, Henny with the AWP in the back, so Henny can take the shot, maybe get a kill, maybe not. Either way, he can set up Yuri to perhaps really punish Fnatic. And if they don't check this side, it could be a big problem. But that smoke, it'll block Henny off. Now all of a sudden, Yuri is stranded.
Stranded, Golden may go for the peek afterwards. I think Golden may have just been saved, actually, after whiffing that jump up. As mad as that sounds, because someone was watching right there. I think it was Henny. 30 seconds to go, though. Here comes the long plays. It is smoked off. Molotov down. Not going to extend far enough to start to tag up CORSAIR, but it has forced him out in position. Henny is taking the fight to Fnatic. He's no retreat, no surrender. It's just kills for Henny. 18 seconds now left, and CORSAIR puts the bullet between the eyes. Furia just about hold on.
I thought it was looking really dangerous for Furia when Fnatic kind of busted that whole bait and switch setup at long. They had blocked off the op. They had Yuri isolated. They got the kill on him as well. It was Golden who did the honors, but then Henny just took the game into his own hands. An aggressive opping style, the fast firing speed, the flashy plays. He gets 2 big kills. Opens up his teammates as well to make some plays inside the site, and now Furia are 1 away from map point. Still no op comes out from Fnatic on their T side. They're still just going for the same 3-1-1 opening. They have really not made very many adjustments. They had that one fast-paced play, and that's really been it. I feel like this T side has lacked some creativity in many ways. It's just giving Furia so much room to poke and prod them and feel really comfortable with their own setup.
As if you compare it to Furia's T side, their aggressive rounds were just so crazy good.
And they
have very different sides. Yeah, exactly. So, as you say, maybe Fnatic struggling a little bit. Obviously, they haven't been together for a huge amount of time, as is full 5, but Brolan has just been pummeled by some high ordnance. I think it was a HE that landed on him. JW chipped away as well, so not an ideal start on the Swedish team.
Fnatic are going to decide to pull the trigger on this B bomb site here any moment now. Bomb making its way over towards Monster. They already have control up short. Flusha being the one kind of leading that over at the sandbags. They do have enough utility to blanket the site and fire and smoke. 2 players here to defend, and one is not too far away from rotating.
28 seconds, CORSAIR. And it's the first point of contact. And he will stand tall before dropping into water. He's done his job. Golden instantly pivoting round from the barrels. Flusha could very well spot out the player in water. This map seemingly may go the distance. If Fnatic can hold on to the site, JW, in a deadly game of cat and mouse, he will come out second best, but Crims has his back after all. Henny's off to save. Fnatic gonna pick up a 12th. And because Furia have constantly hemorrhaged players, their economy's in rough shape.
It absolutely is. They have won the last 3 rounds in a row, but the last 2, they only survived with 2 players. So they did have to do a fair amount of rebuying, plus they're on that 6-round losing streak prior to that, so they never really built up much of a bank. So you're absolutely right. This could be Fnatic's way back in. They'll get a 12th here and a very good shot at number 13. Henny just trying to save this AWP. He's getting boxed in, though, here from Flusha and Golden, so he may not be able to come up with it. Golden may be able to sniff him out. He's running. He's charging. It's going to be close. Not quite, so Henny does get to keep it. Timeout coming in from Fury to talk things over. That's just Fnatic doing kind of a basic B hit, but they just got that efficient trading. CORSAIR made a bit of a play at first, but then got quickly traded. Good entries from Fnatic on the sites. JW involved in that mix in a pretty big way. And so now it comes down to these final rounds, Vince. Money is not really there for Fury. Yeah, they'll go double op this round. They'll be able to get rifles on maybe some of the others. But it's actually just going to be upgraded pistols with these 2 AWPs. It's kind of a weird, like, half in, half out situation. They still have enough money on 4 of their players to full buy next round, but the problem is Art is going to have nothing. So it's a bit interesting, but it definitely could have a huge cost.
Yeah, but they may very well play a kind of tactic where as soon as they realize where the bomb is heading to, they just save. They pull back and save so that Art at least has something to play with in the next round. If not, Henny could probably drop him an AWP unless Henny wants to just primary. Again, that's kind of up in the air as to what's going to happen with it. But Art goes aggressively in connector in this round, not going to find anything. He's also by himself, so they're going to go for that triple stack again. To be fair, hasn't been spotted yet by Fnatic.
Nope.
Was that some team damage? Roller
I'm
just
not
got
sure.
wrecked off one of his teammates.
Also,
no one else shot him.
Yeah, and both ops are on the A side, interesting enough. One was watching long, and then Art was doing his play in connector. So, yeah, they have a pretty cool little setup here. The problem is that, like, Fnatic have rarely gone short. When they've gone for these B plays, they've usually just kind of gone monster. They're almost aware of that being a possibility, and they just don't want to even give it a chance to have impact. And they're going to go monster again. They're leaving JW alone in connector, but everyone's going to go monster. So, again, the stack won't be there. Here's the thing, though. They could do the same thing as what we saw several rounds ago, where you still have 3 already there, and you're re-rotating the others as well. So you're going to have all 5 players ready to go right away before the attack even gets this bomb planted.
It certainly weighs back into this round now for Furia as a result of that, especially as Art and Henny, the 2 AWPers, the gamble seemingly paying off. There seems so many players in here, and Golden's tapped himself into a 2-kill frenzy. A bit fortunate on the second as the player actually jumped into his bullet. Grenade going to be exchanged, lads, right on Golden, and he gets perforated through the wall. Yuri's deagle headshot keeps Furia just about alive. This is where the lack of nades and the lack of weaponry and health on Yuri could be a problem. It could catch up to them. Henny has a speculative shot before he darts away. This is all about Art right now. Try and save the AWP for him. Oh, goodness me. Broland just smashes him in the head. That AWP is gone. Art, 2.6k.
Yeah, in that round, what happened there was just kind of the downfall of having 3 players over there, is that you just can get trapped by utility, and that's exactly what Golden did. He had them in there taking so much damage, had to extinguish fire. Golden knows they're there. He's just pegging them with the SIG, gets a couple of kills. So despite the 2 op frags coming in for Furia so fast, Fnatic respond very well. Now they do have that 13. Now Furia are on the buy, but Art only on the MP9. That was the sacrifice he made to have that second op in the previous round. And did not wind up paying off. If Henny could have saved the AWP, then that could have made a world of difference, but it didn't happen.
I'll get back to that point in a moment because Fnatic is switching the pace up again. It's such an important part of this game. They've gone straight in for the jugular. Super aggressive plays. Winnie's going to take some damage pushing through a Molotov. Meanwhile, Art pushed up on the site, just about gets his spray under control for 2. Still alive. USP does a bunch of damage through the smoke. But now it's the Swedes again getting back on top of things. Yuri's flash can't see anything. It has cleared and his life has been lost. It wasn't actually team damage onto Brolan. My camera switched at the very moment the bullets came out. It was actually Henny on long that tagged him. There you go, correction.
That's 14-14, Vince. That was a lot of chaos on that B-bomb site in that very round. Art getting some big plays with the M4, but Fnatic just fighting back through brute force. They found 3 in a row. Back to their winning ways here on their T side. They have a great chance now for map point as Furia are having to save the play for OT. It's just some pistols, no armor, a couple of flashes, 1 smoke. No triple stack this time. Oh, Flushamate really caused some problems here. CORSAIR decides to push the opposite side, not back towards the site. That's a free kill for Flusha.
Has been answered back, though. I think Flusher was going to give that up, but he heard the tick of damage from the Molotov. Got him back interested once again. Flusher now positioning safely, but only for 1. As soon as he popped up, Henny got the AK around in time and popped his head off. Swedes now, though, are clambering their way over on the A side. It's just going to be Vinny here up against them. And he's somewhat out of position. He's on Dumpster. He shot a bullet across, but he wants to wait for the rest of the team to get here. They have the heavy firepower of the AK in Henny's hands, which is going to need to come out pretty huge if they're going to clutch this round, or maybe not. Maybe the 5-7 is going to do the bulk of the work. There's a small gap in that dumpster smoke. They're going to look for the boost, but I think Crims was up to it. He knew exactly what was coming up. He's going to be looking there again alongside Golden, who's now taken the head off of Henny. That AK spills out into the open. Yuri has reclaimed it, but he's still hungry. He's not satiated. He wants to reclaim the site as well, but he's walking into a crossfire. His demise is certain. It's guaranteed. Fnatic, 1 map point now.
They do battle their way through when it's all said and done. Map point now for Fnatic. They could be stealing this one away from Furia. Would be massive, especially considering that they were down 5-10. They did not get that much going on their CT side at all. But they have recovered in a big, big way. Now it all comes down to this. Furia back onto the double AWP again. Trying to get aggressive over here towards short. They've done a great job at doing just that. A door's going to open. That's a nice shot from Art. A nice little play. We'll give Furia 1 step closer to OT. We haven't had an OT yet on the secondary stream this tournament. Might be finding it here soon.
We haven't, but we've been mighty close a number of times, Dust. 16-14, 16-13s. This has gone the distance. Will we have additional rounds? Furia putting us towards a yes on that question. Utility isn't too bad either. Still 2 smokes, a couple of Molotovs, some flashes to play with. Plus, getting the kill, of course, slows down Fnatic significantly, so I don't have to worry too much about throwing any desperation nades out.
Here's the crazy thing is Yuri's position, Vince. I don't know if you talked about this yet, but he's in a really weird place for Fnatic where he's been pushed all the way down connector. He could flank them. It's all going to come down to timing. That, or he might just get a bunch of information if he hears them running by, and he kind of can understand, you know, where they're headed. So that's something you got to keep an eye on. Now, Art's found a kill. It's looking tantalizing, Vince. This overtime ever closer. Yuri still has his position. Oh, hello. Hi there.
This is my house, Golden. You're not welcome. Brolan and Crims, though, looking to execute. There is a player coming around the back of him. It's now Yuri. He's made moves instantly behind the terrace with the AK. This could be the round-winning moment for Yuri and Furia. Into overtime. It's looking so likely right now. Crims with 1. Spins around for a second. Hell of a headshot. But it's not going to be enough. We are headed to our first OT on the B stream.
Indeed, we are in map 1 of this best of 3. It is, I believe, MR316K. It usually is the rule set I'm familiar with for DreamHack, so that means that it is a race to 19. 18-18 means another overtime. Sides will stay. And that's where we're at.
Precisely the situation at hand for both teams. There is no pause. We are straight back into the fray. Double AWPs instantly purchased. 16k does allow you this, of course, on the CT side. You can be a little bit more frivolous with your money. Again, no AWP for Fnatic. That has been a recurring theme. Smokes being deployed on Fnatic's side, just trying to lock off the vision from the 3-player strong B stack that Furia currently possess. Vinny will be the first player that they'll meet, though, if they do come round short, or indeed Monster, as he's on the barrels, but they're going to speed it up again. There's good flashbangs being deployed here. Rolling through the smoke, somehow gets the upper hand onto Yuri, whose barrel was literally in his face. Such is the power of the 1-tap potential of the SG as opposed to the 2-tap needed from the M4A1S. Post plant's not looking good for Furia. They do have a flanker, though. This time it's Henny. He's very much playing as Yuri did. There's the first. His position now is known. Crim's gonna just dart straight back to the site and try and bolster up his teammates' efforts at stopping this defuse from taking shape. Smoke is gonna clear, but Golden spins around. And the crisp headshot from JW, leaving CORSAIR and a measly 21 HP to his name. And there's the grenade from around the corner. Lands perfectly. The touchdown. Fnatic will draw first blood in overtime.
You know, we did give them some criticism that they seemed a bit one-dimensional on their T side. Is always playing very slow. Every single time Flusha was soloing B, JW in connector, kind of just very slowly approaching Bathrooms control, waiting into the last 30 or so seconds to really commit to something. But what you saw that round was a completely different Fnatic. A great little smoke wall on sidewalk, a fast attack on the B bomb side, a great entry from Brolin, in a really kind of against the odds fashion, pushing through the smoke. And they capitalize to finish off the round, but now Furia are fighting. Vinny getting aggressive onto Flusha, catching the kill as Fnatic were on the default. Yuri up close as well, but thinks better of it. Henny has long A. He will indeed also fade back. So we're at a bit of a standstill as we get into the mid-round.
Slowed down, not for the first time when Furia get the first pick. Swede's instant reaction is to just halt for a little bit, regroup. Oh, boost up Yuri, precise headshot, surgical headshot, delivered instantly. There was no hope for any kind of revenge kill either. CORSAIR battening it down on long, smoke and Molotov put in. Yuri spots him come through the smoke. Gonna be able to trade across to the AK. Is burning a little bit though. But Brolan and Crims, last 2 remaining terrorists, as Henny's timing is so unfortunate. The second he peers to his left-hand side, and his head is claimed. Vinny is going to stick with the B site. Still a little bit of time to go. But now Fnatic have to make a decision, and they have to stick with it.
Indeed they are. They're going to get a 2-on-2 either way, as Vinny is still covering. But there is this push through Monster right now from Art, which might allow Vinny an earlier rotation. This utility will also tell all. Crims is going to check this close corner. He comes in. He does. He gets that kill. CORSAIR, though, quick to respond. The bomb has tumbled over. Brolin has to go for it. And CORSAIR licks his chops as he puts the bullets between Brolin's eyes. It's 16-16. We've keeping the game close all the way through. No one gets a big edge in this half.
Whatever happens, no clean sweep will be taking shape. JW, here we go.
Finally.
This is the first AWP, and we're hard into overtime.
That is so wild to think about, though, but that is very true. Like, it just feels like if they're going to play that slow, they should have had JW opping and someone else should have been playing connector. Then that's just the way I felt about it, but it is indeed going to be the case now. Golden going to be playing connector. I wonder if this is going to shock Fear. They haven't had to play against an op on their CT side, period. So it might be something that catches them off guard.
Well, the flash from CORSAIR into connector hasn't yielded any results. It was Yuri that went for the peak. But Golden is a little bit too passive, just holding the angle. I mean, Yuri has pushed connector a few times already. Henny's been around the back of them as well with an AWP. So they're making the read that we're going to see an aggressive push. Henny, in the meanwhile, speaking of him, as his aforementioned AWP, just watching mid, and that's going to be a boost into a headshot. Again, Furia are going to get the first kill.
Oh, man. That's a timing thing, because Henny was kind of swapping back and forth between scoping in on that position and also just watching the stairwell. And he happened to be in the right place at the right time on that one, so he gets it into a 5-on-4, giving Furia a chance once again with an early pick to roll that advantage into another round victory. They might even go for another boost here. They were thinking about it. They think better of it. Throw the smoke down bathrooms. Now they know they can just play safe. They have the advantage. They can just play the numbers.
He's using that smoke as his hiding spot. It is going to deplete shortly. Good flick from JW, and Brolan also has chipped in with a kill. These entries are starting to make it fairly untenable for CORSAIR to stay alive on the site. There's 2 from Brolan. It's looking good. The Fnatic will be leading going through into the second half of our first overtime. Art, though, 1-4. Has to go for this. Just a flashbang, making sure he doesn't get any crispy toes. That's a sound cue that Fnatic will be able to use, and misses the flick. Brolan will claim the last kill. Fnatic leads 17-16.
And you have to wonder if Henny was expecting to be peeking into an op. He hasn't had to the entire time on the CT side, and then in the final round, he finally tries to take a peek that I don't know if he would have taken that if he knew an op would have been possible. And so JW gets that pick, and then Brolan, who has been doing it all game long, gets another big couple of entries on the safe bomb site, and they do secure that lead going into the second half of overtime. They are the ones that are closer to the finish line than Furia now to get that number 19 number, get that 1-0 advantage. Again, this best of 3 elimination or playoffs. It's 2 very different possibilities, but both are up on the table.
Furia hoping they can start the same way they did in regulation by breaking Fnatic down early on. Of course, an AWP on this side for JW. He's been using it consistently on the CT side. You really do need one on most teams. You get so much coverage from it. Brolan, though, in connector. The double stack. It's actually JW that's playing there alongside him. Do they check it? Do they actually go for this? They've got the one. JW doesn't realize there are multiple assailants heading his direction. He was hoping it was just the one man in the form of Art that was looking for some info. So a 2-for-1 trade, heavily favoring Furia.
That is really big exchange there. JW was pretty much trapped. He's lucky to find 1 frag, to be honest. As Furia looking to try to tie this thing right back up at 17 all. They have plenty of time to work out this 4-on-3 advantage, but it seems like they've already made their decision, which is going to be over towards this A side. Flusha will be here with the M4. He's going to take a peek, actually catches a glimpse of Yuri, shades a little bit of him off, and then calls for the rotation. Now Crims will take up this close position, but Vinny on top of it.
Yes, but there's now 2 players at the backside of Truck. Yuri with 2 HP. Finally finished off by Golden, who peeks out into Henny's AWP. And the scope goes click. 17-17. Man, this game has really delivered.
It really has. We've had a lot of close games on this stream, but this one is pushing those limits. We could very well see a second overtime the way this has played out so far, but one team is going to have an opportunity to go 2-0 run from this point forward and get this over with now. Furia changing it up, looking to go for something quicker towards the short B side, but they eat so much utility damage on the way through. They extinguished the fire, but they weren't ready for the nade.
A smoke wall has been deployed to shield Golden and the rest of the siege from the oncoming traffic, but Vinny is going to run them over. Oh my goodness, Fnatic are being absolutely devastated. They can't get anything here. It should be Furia leading 18-17 and having a map point to their name.
Dude, Vinny's been balling out of control this map, bro. Some of the plays that he has made have been reminiscent of what we've been seeing Brolan do on the opposite side on some of these entries. It's not normally him that you're talking about. It's usually CORSAIR, Yuri, maybe Art because of his wild plays. Henny was the one people had their eyes on because of the roster move, but it's been Vinny the one that's been really popping off. That's going to be, like you said, 18 for Furia. Now they finally are at map point on their pick of Overpass. Can they finish it off, though, Vince? Or are we going to see some more rounds? What are your thoughts?
I wouldn't be surprised if we go to second overtime. I've got to be honest. I think this game has just been too close to say it's done right now. JW needed to save his AWP. He's on 4.9k to make sure he could afford everything. The rest of the team, though, was expendable. That's why they went for it. But
Right.
yeah, I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if this does go into a second overtime at all.
It does seem that way, but Fury does have that fire about them these last couple of rounds that make you have some hope that they'll go ahead and get it done here and now. Again, they're going to be putting that heavy utility over towards B and getting quick control of short. Seems like they want to run a very similar type of tactic to the previous round. Crims pushes through short. He gets the intel, but he loses his life in the process. And now a boost is being attempted. Will they be able to pick up on anyone? No one's barrels just yet for Art to be able to get his SIG working. Golden, though, might move into a position that could be a real big problem. Oh my goodness, they might even know that they're there. An Incendiary is going to get dropped down on top of them. There's going to be a push maybe from Golden as well. Oh my goodness, it's a nightmare. They take a lot of damage, but Golden can't finish it off. He's a flash.
Yeah, flashes are going to be too effective against Golden. It's a 3-on-2. JW going to be boosted up from Brolin. In the meanwhile, coming round the pillar, there's the flick across the CORSAIR. Henny in the meanwhile, now stuck on an island between many Swedes. And it's looking like he may very well drown to the current. And indeed he shall. Second overtime coming right at us. No big surprise.
No, that was so well designed by Fnatic. I mean, they almost had a feeling there was going to be a boost. They popped the fire down. Golden kind of missed his first chance to punish it when he got flashed off, but then he held a slightly different angle, got pushed into, and still wound up finding 2 frags nonetheless. So a big play there from him, obviously. JW's boosted op shot, also a big X factor in the round. And now, indeed, it is 18-18. That means the race is now to 22 rounds. 21-21, it means OT number 3. Again, both teams keep the sides they were previously on. So it'll be Furia still on this T side for now. And man, oh man, Vince, this is just turned into a slobber knocker. It seems like no one really has firm control of anything. Hard to read the situation.
It's been one hell of an entertaining game of Counter-Strike, though. Really back and forth. So many situations that got down to 3v3, post-plants. Had it all, really.
Same exact boost situation, same exact short control. Oh, they're going to go for it again. The CT aggression.
Yuri going to take this opportunity, though, because it was mainly short, to just go straight up Monster, and Golden had no idea this was even possible. He just gets dinked instantly from the AK, and it's going to be more kills for Yuri, trying to pivot round for a third. But he's done his work. He's broken open the walls of B. And now Brolan has to be the gatekeeper, try and shut it down as much as possible. JW, rotating through connector, is going to have no impact until the bomb's already been planted. And at that point, it's a 1v3. He's going to have to try and retake this somehow from short. Can he get this first pick? No, he misses the shot. That was so big. So crucial. He's going to peek back in. He realizes someone could be peeking from that side of Monster. And down he goes. You just think if he'd landed a shot on Vinny, the bomb would have dropped. It was doable.
It certainly was. Really nice job there from Furia handling that push up short. I think Yuri was just the biggest of factors coming out of Monster pretty much unchecked. Got 2 big kills and really kind of unlocked everything for his team. He's been up there on the scoreboard next to Vinny all the way through. Yuri always well known for being a big fragger for this team. He's been a staple of firepower for Furia. And now Furia speeded up even more. They're kicking it up a notch, Vince. Pedal to the metal into this B site.
Seen the play before. Last time it was very effective. It was stalled Molotovs onto Graffiti, a constant pouring of them. And because they have lost Vinny so early on, the CTs have been able to sit in position. There's 3 players already on the site. It's only JW that's around the short side of Banana. Cyrus, Yuri's in a duel to the death with Crims. Neither player has fallen. Both are worse for wear. Both tagged up heavily. Now Artie's going to go and have a look. A fact-finding mission onto A. They have drawn out Flusher towards Heaven now. Still a minute to play with because of just how rapid that hit take was. Down goes JW. That could force a second player to rotate now to A, which could leave Golden all alone, stranded, marooned, fighting off against the world. Yuri's first in, and he's going to be taken down, but now the bomb is traversing across the map towards A. You feel like the timing here could be so vitally important. Flusher and Crims are both so low, though, that a single bullet or this incendiary that Art has placed correctly will finalize them. And indeed, this round, and give Furia a 2-round lead in overtime. Smokes and flashes now being tossed out, trying to lock out Flusher from being able to see anything. So he pulls back, waiting for the rest of his team to come in. Meanwhile, Crims is going to be rotating through connector and trying to pinch Furia in the backside, but he's missed his chance onto Art. On 21 HP, he's surely a goner. He's surely going to be a dead man. More than enough funds to buy in the next round, and Art has found his target. All the kills have gone to him. Golden, though, bounces right back. The bomb planted for Henny's AWP. He's not going to miss. There is no chance Henny misses that shot. And now Flusher can do little but just hope for the best. Tap the bomb. And Henny re-peaks for the kill. 2018.
Furia now 2 away from putting this one, and they might even wind up with a flawless T-half. They've won the first 2. Art taking a tactical. Mine as well. They had 1 left. Want to make sure that they finish this off in style. Brilliant round all the way through there from Furia. A bit of a tense 3-on-3 in the end, but they found a great timing on the A site. They caught that flank from Krems right away. Henny went to work with the AWP, and now Furia are in prime position to finally secure Overpass. It's been a dangling carrot for quite some time for them, but now they might finally be able to grab it.
Yeah, and of course, it's never ideal to point out someone having a rough day, but Flusher 10 and 28 after 38 rounds is not ideal. You can see the rest of his team are trying desperately to pick up the slack, but maybe if Flusher can wake up, if he can start to hit the spike that we know he's capable of, that could be the turnaround factor.
Had a good day yesterday, so it is rough to see him not have that same form in a key moment here. And a really big best-of-3 for Fnatic. They have a chance to be in the playoffs on home soil with this new lineup, instead of having to go home empty-handed. Furia, though, are kind of on their own redemption arc right now after having a really tough major, but good events earlier in the year. Getting to the playoffs would finally kind of get them back on the right track in their own right. As we get into the final round of this half, we do see that bomb making its way up long A. We haven't really seen that engage too much this game. So it might be kind of the change-up that Fnatic are not going to be expecting. Could be what Fury were talking about in that timeout. What's something different we can throw at this team? What's a little bit of a curveball? And this seems to be it. They've done so well pressuring B throughout that they really have Fnatic jumpy on that side of the map. And it's really unlocked them to pave the way into A.
Exactly. Psychologically, they've had Fnatic worrying about this side of the map time and time again. Even when Fnatic have won rounds on B, it's been off the back of someone just having a ridiculous hold of 2 or 3 kills in quick succession. So it is putting Fnatic in an awkward position. However, Dust, 25 seconds left. Not a single player on either team has fallen.
Fnatic push short. They know what's going on. Now they've been able to make a big rotation. Fury's in a lot of trouble now with this little time.
Okay, Serato gonna have to try and get some entries as his teammate here. He's gone down the spray. Pivoting round for 2. But here's Henny, point blank range, 7 seconds left. They've got to get the bomb right now. In fact, I don't think they're gonna have enough time. Maybe they just about will, but there's Brolin through the smoke. Double spray with the M4, keeping the Swedish dreams alive. Again, it's neck and neck.
Yeah, they just missed the window on that. There was a time where Fnatic were going to be out of place because they were committed to trying to defend against B, push short, get in the way, but as Furia got stalled, Fnatic found all the intel they needed to make a big rotation. They had pretty much everyone there ready to go as that push was coming in. The clock becoming their enemy. Still a big T-half, though, from Furia to get them to 20. Still do have the lead as we do switch back. Double op now will be in play for Furia. We did not see that too often regulation. Maybe just one round. I think it was even a round where there was just pistols around the 2 ops. So this might be a different look for Fnatic to deal with.
Real marathon for both teams to kick off the first map. Smoke extinguishing the Molotov early on, allowing Fnatic untouched to push up onto the playground. No aggression from Furia. They are in pretty forward positions, but in bathroom, and they're trying to lock it down as opposed to take the fight to Fnatic.
A little bit of chip damage there to JW through the door. Again, Fnatic opening up with kind of that no-op setup, which we saw pretty much every single round regulation. They only brought out JW's AWP in a couple of overtime rounds. So they're kind of back to the tried and true.
Time ticking away. Crims on Henny, who had completely bit down on the prospect of no one being in bathrooms, maybe assuming that Art would have that covered, who had the secondary AWP. So centralized AWPing not working out so far for the Brazilians, but still, time starting to deplete. That's the shot they were looking for. Art, though, goes back into the open. Vulnerable from Connector. Will be avenged from Golden. No one from Furia is in Connector either, so they may think that this could be a fake, but time is so low that they're going to have to go for this. Molotov to the back.
Rotation is going to be on point as well. It's going to get here before the bomb does. Are they really going to transfer the bomb back to B? I think they are. The bomb is going to go towards Connector right now. It is indeed going to run its way through. There's no one here. Fnatic have pulled it off, bro. They've really pulled it all over Furia's eyes. This bomb is going to get in here. It's planted. No one from Furia can stop it. Brolin backstabbing the rotation. That's going to try to go back through B, through spawn. Oh my goodness, Furia in so much trouble, Vince. There's no way they're going to battle their way through this. You have to imagine. Queserado's trying his damnedest, but it's not going to be enough. That was brilliant, bro. It was risky. It could have really backfired, but it didn't, and now it's all tied back up. My goodness, man. This game keeps delivering.
It sure does, and it just goes to show the confidence as well on the call that everyone followed up Golden. They made sure that they had the entries going in first and making sure that anybody on B, they quickly got an avenging kill to allow that bomb to plant. But
you gotta think
there
of it this
definitely would have
way.
been a couple of moments where they were worried there.
This is like one of the first times we've seen anything that's somewhat resemblance of a double fake, or even just like a really late round fake. We haven't seen that at all. So when you've played 40 rounds of CS and you haven't really kind of had to deal with something like that, there's just no way you're going to be weary of it. It's not going to be in the back of your mind. So that is definitely a great shot call from Fnatic. And now they're going to get the opening onto this one as well.
Oh, did Arch just get a 2-for-1? I think he did. Crimson Brawl and both just fell to his hands. What a time to pull that kind of collat out. Flusher drilled by Vinny, and it seems Furia are going to have another map point. Unless Golden can pull out something with this AK and really make Furia dwell on it a great deal, then yeah, I mean, Furia are in the driver's seat again. What a round by Art.
Oh, absolutely, man. It's going to be shocking all CS from the Furia side of things. The hat trick for Art. A great response to what was a brilliant shot call the previous round for Fnatic. Gets answered by just brilliant individual play from Furia, and they still maintain the advantage. The best Fnatic can hope for is a third overtime, which would basically be putting us in a situation where we're basically playing 2 maps of CS in 1. But Furia, they do have that chance with this double AWP to put this one away. Lay this to rest.
Molotov onto Connector, not maybe landing exactly where he wanted. If it was just on the left-hand side, could have spread to one of these CTs. They're still going to give it up, though. Molotov in retaliation. They're properly going behind. That's Brolin first in. No fear. Rewarded with 2 kills for his aggression, for his sheer willpower to push the smoke. And it seems like a third overtime is beckoning. Henny and Yuri have got the first in this encounter, in this skirmish. A really chaotic, aggressive round. Yuri coming out the smoke, waiting for it to clear. Flush is going to be there waiting for him. He's made a little bit of noise as well. Doesn't look good for Yuri. Doesn't look good for Furia overall. It's taking a long time as well. Finally going to come out there. It's Flusher, leaving Henny up in heaven. Going to be dropping down. First kill's going to go his way. Time simply is not on his side, though. This is all for show. 21-21. We go again.
It is the game that keeps on giving. It does seem. And it's really hard to even grasp who has the advantage, because it feels like every time you see one team like make a really big key play, whether it's like a key round off of some type of brilliant mid-round read or just like good set piece that goes really well, or whether it's someone who makes a big individual play where you feel like, oh, that's the spark this team needs now, like, that's going to give them the momentum, that's going to like shift the mentality. There seems to always just be a follow-up response from the opposing team in that moment. Like, no one's, even though there's been one situation where I think Furia won the first 2 rounds of their T side last time around, and you thought, okay, that's it, like that's the ticket, like that's that extra little advantage you need to tip the scales. There's just always been a response, and it's just like whose stamina is going to fall out first. That's all this is about now.
Or will Flusher come online? Will he wake up? Because if he does, Fnatic surely do have the slight edge. Most of this game he's not been performing. 1-for-1 trade. Vinny and Brolan both sidelined in our first round of triple overtime. Art, again, this is a play they've done a few times, but it hasn't been for a while. It won't be a play that Fnatic are cognizant of just yet. They still haven't got across to the site either, and to make matters worse, the bomb's just been dropped by Yuri from heaven, raining down some fury onto Fnatic. CORSAIR tagged up from the side. That could afford them the bomb plant, but this is where Art's position is so very dangerous, so very powerful. There's the one kill, forcing Golden back off the site, and Yuri has him dead to rights with his M4. Fury again take the first round of overtime.
Indeed, they do from a 4-on-5. Flusha had that aggressive opening through Monster. He usually is kind of just more content to hold short control or just kind of be kind of the bedrock of that side of the map, but instead he decides to go for a play. As you said, he's been awfully quiet most of this game. That was a great way to kind of try to kickstart something, but the response from Furia was just so brilliant. Able to maneuver a way around that situation, make it look easy along the way. And so now they do have that one round. Again, this is a race to 25 at this point. Big push up close from Art here. Will Roland detect it? Indeed, he does. Only a little bit of damage dished out as well. There still is the push from Henny's AWP, though, at long. Still have to watch out for that. But Fnatic do have a great chance to tie this thing up now. Again, we've had so many ties.
Does seem like a pendulum of Counter-Strike. It never quite gets away. It always comes back the other way. Henny, though. There's the peek out. Furia have had a couple of 2-0 leads in overtime so far, but Fnatic always seem to dig in. Connector, the bulk of their defense. 1-for-1 trade early on. It's about to go the way of Henny, though. JW slow peeking Connector has been punished. Henny back in for another one. 3K in the round. The new pickup on Furia is delivering, and what a time to start to land the upshots in, time out. Crimson Flusher have to try and push around the back. They need to deal with the threat of Henny first. He's going to go down. Crims elsewhere. Onto Yuri. Is this going to happen again? A 2v4 clutch could be going the way of Fnatic. 20 seconds to go. Crims on 12 HP, but the smoke is shielding him. It's allowing him the chance to just have a quick peek around. Flusher goes straight in for the jugular, picking up one. It's down to Vinny and Crims. 8 seconds. Crims has got to go for the plant. This could leave him vulnerable afterwards, but a smoke is going to slightly skew the vision of Vinny, and he's missed his shot. Next bullet could finalize this, and it's going to go onto Vinny's hands with the SG. So Furia do take the 2-round lead, but they let that slip dangerously close.
Yeah, when you consider how that opening exchange went, with Henny getting that op shot at Fountain and how Furia kind of were able to work around that, you thought, yeah, they're going to punch their ticket here pretty soon, but then Fnatic made it very scary. Got it back into a 2 versus 2. Furia do hold on, and again, they're going to get that 2-round edge. Now, last time they did this was on the T side of the last overtime, but they could not still finish it. Even after all of that, Fnatic were still able to hang around. So, I don't want to throw my gloves in on this just yet. I'm not really sure exactly where this is headed, but what I do know is that Furia numerically had the advantage. There's more work to be done for Fnatic if they want to hang around in this game. Art looking to take something aggressive with this AWP. Not going to spot anything, however.
Molotov in from CORSAIR, but no one's there. It's the same Molotov we saw Golden throwing it.
Right.
When Fury were doing their boosts. They didn't hear any tags either, so it allows him to push in. Art's feeling safe that no one is there to deal with him.
Yep, he's going to get to hold that and get a lot of information from it. We haven't seen long A engage very much this game from either team. It's been a very rarely used piece of the map. But we are going to see a boost going on here for the T side. On top of the flower pot, and now Brolin will just jump around. And it is going to be an A attack. No question about that now, considering how low the clock is, considering Fnatic have already made a lot of forward progress on this long side. It's just about whether or not Fury can shut down. They still have that double op in play. They still are holding the same aggressive short positions. JW going to try to creep out for a bit of a lurk. He's going to shoot Art in the back, but CORSAIR is the insurance policy that Art needed. He's paid his premium. He's going to get his coverage. Here comes the A hit.
Flashes through long, not going to affect Vinny whatsoever. And he has the perfect angle. He has shot a little bit early. There's multiple targets. A wide and a close peek. Going to be enough to deal with him. Bomb's been planted as well. It's another retake. It's another 2v3. If Furia can win this, they're going to have plenty of map points. But Yuri, prime positioning, delivering the headshot. Crim's Molotov down. Is going to stop CORSAIR from pushing. He's going to burn, but he actually drops down to his death. And now Yuri, one-on-one with the madman from yesterday. Crim's a player that has been around for so long. Is full of so many sick plays, and Yuri goes for the defuse. Crim's is having none of it.
I'm at a loss. I can't fathom why he did that. I didn't see it from his perspective. I don't know if maybe he thought he could avoid the fire when he jumped down, or if he even realized it was going to spread the way it did. It's hard for me to make a judgment call on that in the heat of the moment, this many rounds played, and with so many other things going on at the same time, but it did just seem like he took a huge advantage in a 2 versus 1, and oh man. I'd have to see that one back. That was rather odd.
Yeah, I mean, it's not just the players that are mentally fatigued. At this point, it's us as well. So we may have not quite caught what happened. The only thing I can think of is maybe the Molotov like somehow spread up towards him.
I never want to call something like that when it's this many rounds played, and because I didn't see it from his perspective, and even on the stream, it's from Crim's perspective as well. So I can't tell why he's done that. It did seem like a blunder, but again, I'm not sure what the communications were.
Nade stack nearly claiming Flush's life from the short pipe down to 21. A bit fortunate to survive from that. Spray in, 37 health. Crim's is so very low from that spray up through the smoke and the wooden panels, and Flush is going to go back in and try and return the damage. Molotov goes out. It's just going to land in connector though. It's not going to bother any of Fnatic.
Indeed, a lot of players bleeding out right now for Fnatic. Despite that rough ending to the first half of this overtime on the 2v1, Furia do still have that 1-round advantage. They're still 2 away from putting Overpass to rest. Vinny getting up close here on A very quickly. You can definitely see a different pace from Furia on their T side compared to what we saw out of Fnatic. That's really just been kind of the motto for both these teams throughout this game, though, to be fair, so it's no surprise.
30 seconds. Vinny and Henny dispatching CTs across the site on A. It's getting even worse now on the side of Fnatic. Furia, though, looking vigilant, looking to put an end to this map right here, right now. They've had enough. They want to get across to Fnatic's choice. Yuri on the cross, dealing with JW. Golden, 1-on-5. Ooh, only the one headshot going to be delivered. Good shot by Vinny. And now 2 more map points fall the way of Furia.
Vinny has just had so many moments like this in key situations where he's been able to just kind of steamroll something with that SIG. Seen it on B double kills. We've seen it on A several times. Again, Brolin's kind of been the counterpart for Fnatic, who's kind of done the same thing. I feel like those players have been worth their weight in gold throughout this whole process. Furia do find themselves now at a map point situation. Again, the fatigue is setting in. You have to imagine, and we do have at least 1 more map left to go in this best of 3, so it's going to take a lot out of whoever loses this map to hold their nerve to try to force a map 3. Meanwhile, the forward presence at long A being picked up on by Brolin. He gets this team the 1-man advantage very early on in this round.
Fnatic, though, struck first and hard. Brolan living to tell the tale. Bomb still dropped quite a long distance away from anyone from Furia. Flashbang over's not going to go the way he was hoping for. Bouncing off the railings and coming back towards him on Monster. 2-player stack in Banana as well, though. Brolan joined by JW, who may think about peeking this. Yuri has the right idea. And JW lands the shot on the cross, but only does 37 damage. So Yuri's still alive.
Fnatic has no idea what's going on right now. Like, they're getting pressured so much at A, but now the B2 comes in. But look at this position that Golden and Crims have. They might still be able to handle this.
Crims gets tagged off with Molly. I don't think anyone heard it though, but now he's taking fire from the water. Vinny caught by JW. 20 seconds left. The bomb simply has to go to B. In its case, CORSAIR that has it in his hands. Flusher catches Yuri as he tries to rotate round the back. And Henny, the 1-on-4's got the first, but no more will be added. One more map point, or we head to OT4.
That was so tough because I think Vinny just kind of got caught in no man's land between the trench warfare of the CTs that were holding on to monster control, and they had Heaven. They were also, I think, hoping that Yuri, I believe it was, who was actually flanking through a site, would be able to kind of help bust that back open, but it didn't come fast enough. And then there was just no time left on the clock to make any other decision. As you said, they had to go to the bomb with B. And it just doesn't work out. And now Fnatic, all of a sudden, again, it's been the same story all OTs long. Someone gets an edge, you think it's over. It's usually been Furia who have been in that position. They have been so close so many times, but Fnatic somehow just reach and bring them right back down into more overtime rounds. We might see another.
Well, the early damage would tip towards Fnatic. Kenny's been tagged down to 68 in the connector. Nades over, aiming at the site itself. It's only going to chip away Crims, though. There's multiple Ts in connector, so very centralized at the moment on the side of Furia.
Yep. Looking to pop flash explode their way into any type of close range position that Fnatic might be holding on this bathroom section, but Fnatic are definitely more drawn back towards the site with the AWP of JW finding Vinny's dome piece and splattering its brains all over the wall. A bit of its own type of art.
JW is going to try and safeguard the site. May not be called upon, though, because Furia still have the opportunity to pull back and use connector. JW, not for the first time. He landed an ace from a very similar position. What feels like forever ago now. I'm sure it does to him as well. Nades through. Furia had the opportunity to pull back and go through connector, but they are denying that. Instead, they're going to go straight for the jugular of A. JW, no flashbang proceeding on Henny, at least not on the backside. CORSAIR flings himself straight into the firing squad, comes out with an entry. Art's last man standing, 8 seconds left. He doesn't have control of the bomb.
No time.
He could just plant this in time. It's going to be very close, but no, it's not going to happen. Golden knows exactly what's coming up. Ladies and gentlemen, OT4 coming up for you.
All the rounds, Vince.
All of them.
Every single one. You know, Vince, there is a universe that I know that you don't want to hear about. But it's a universe where this game just never ends. Like, that's the thing. There is no finite end to a game of CS. Overtimes literally could go on infinitely. I don't even know if there's a rule in the books on, like, a max cap of overtime. It's so, in theory, we could, you know, be doing this for years.
In an alternate universe, it's happening right now, Dust.
Yeah.
It's happening right now.
First of all, I just want to say, F that universe.
I mean, I've been loving casting this, but I mean, we are getting on to like 30+ hours casting over the last few days.
Like overtime 8, we have a whole different mentality, and so will the players. I mean, they're the ones that are really being brutalized by this, if we're honest.
Oh yeah, the players are being destroyed off this, and as you said, they have to mentally reset after this map. Whoever loses this is just going to be so broken down.
Meanwhile, if we get back in the game, we will see that Furia are getting that short B control for their players, but backing off pretty quickly after that. That fire has really gotten in their way. But it looks like they will look to re-aggress. No boost or anything like that to stop them. Golden's off angle could be a real problem.
I don't think it's one they've really used yet either. They've typically been at the backside. CORSAIR, though, it's going to come out swinging and connects the left hook. Down goes Golden. Down go the rest of the B defense. Flush is going to be dry peeking. He's going to fall the same way as his comrades have. And there is a smoke to greet Roland, so he's going to have to push through it if he wants to use Heaven. Decent nade damage has been inflicted. I mean, Vinny, CORSAIR, both very low. There is a way back in this, but not if Art penetrates his head with the SG round. Furia again get the first round of overtime.
I feel like this is one of the cleanest rounds I've seen in a while as far as like how dominant a team has been to win the round. So that's a good sign for Furia, obviously, to get one very confidently. Furia's always been the front runner in these overtimes, man. Like, they've had so many chances to close this game out. They've always been able to get like kind of these 2-1 halves to start off the OT. They might do it here just again, as they are once more looking to knock down the doors of B. But here's a big problem. Fnatic is pushing 2 players into connector. They have 3 on B already. It's basically a stack, or you might as well call it that. But somehow, some way, they're still breaking through it all. Look at the kills. They're coming up so fast in the top right-hand corner of your screen. And I think Furia will find 26.
It certainly looks that way. JW with his AWP going to be backing away with 35 HP. Looking to save. There's not really much you can hope to achieve in a 1v4, but again, he may try and get some exit frags. Nope. CORSAIR is going to shut him down. Again, we've been here so many times before where Furia get the early 2-round lead in the overtime, and then Fnatic just comes straight back and grind it out.
We've never seen a 3-0 half, though, in overtime. That's never happened. There's always been a bit of a response from Fnatic to keep them lingering around. So, how are Fnatic able to respond? They still have, of course, the full buy. That MR316K really lends itself to still having full buys each and every time.
Furia, they said, all right, look, we're tired of messing about. B site is the weakest site. We've got a good execute on this. Let's just keep poking and probing it. This time, though, Yuri is greeted by 2 grenades. They're looking for the boost. Vinny's up there. Brolan's taking a little bit of chip onto CORSAIR, but nothing too serious. This boost could be the definitive moment.
Has it ever worked? I don't think anyone's got this work. Oh, they're going to go for their own boost! Oh, Vinny says, thank you very much, kind sir. That's unlocked this B-bomb site in a big, big way. There's still 2 defending, though, actually. Could still be a problem.
It will be JW, another 1v2. They're getting onto the site. Art is taking the initiative. Oh, he actually dodges the bullet because he jumps. Lucky man. Furia, though, the first time we've had a clean sweep of overtime. Fnatic need 3 in a row.
Dude, Vinny got so fortunate. I don't think I've ever seen a T-side team make that boost work. We've actually seen time and time again the CTs respond with an incendiary, a short sandbags push, something to that effect. Golden did it, you know, several rounds ago where he was able to step out and kind of shut something like that down. Like, it hasn't really panned out, a lot of these different boosts. But that time, not only does it pan out, Vinny gets kind of that extra kill because they were going to go for their own boost. That is pretty wild. That might be that small bit of fortune that actually makes the difference. It did get them the 3-0 start at the very least. So this could be over here soon. Furia just need to put up 1 round. 1 stout defense separates them from the 1-0 series lead. What do Fnatic have to say about it?
It's still, of course, only the first map of a best of 3. That grenade could have done a lot more damage had it not have bounced off the windowsill. It took a lot of the sting out of the speed. Roland looking to aggress just as Furia were, anticipating the push through the smoke. No one's home. Fury instead going to be sitting behind there. Molotov's getting extinguished by the smoke that was tossed down. Art, in the meanwhile, going to go for a peek. Is found and fragged by Brolan. Much needed starts on this overtime T side. Unfortunate Henny not to get the kill. Golden mid-air looked like it was plumb on his chest, but apparently hit him in the leg instead. Will be getting the kill onto Brolan instead, though. So he's going to get a little bit of reward. Molotov banking off the wall towards the close left side. Going to force out the player into the open. Then instead, Crims is just going to use the little alcove. Henny and Yuri are systematically shutting this down. Yuri gone down, but it's at the hands of Henny, who still is alive and kicking. But JW has rotated into heaven, and Henny doesn't even attempt the defuse. What a great try by Furia, though.
Yeah, they definitely made an effort out of that, despite the fact they were well behind throughout the round. It's really just been Brolan the bulldozer. He's been so good at finding these entries. He had 2 on that round. He's done it time and time again, man. Again, I think the story coming out of this game really will be Brolan versus Vinny in so many ways on how much impact they've had. Right when Fnatic needed a response most, they do get it. So they're still here. They still are standing. It's not over just yet. Furia still have 2 more chances, though, to avoid another set of extra rounds.
Fnatic kick it off again with another entry frag. Going to be breaking the deadlock on Connector. They can pick this one up. There's just one more to go. Art's going to peek. That's right into the arms of Flusher, but he's missed. He's missed with the SG, a weapon that you'd fancy at that kind of a range. Sure, it's against an AWP, but you thought he may have him dead to rights, and that could have been the round. Instead, it's way back up open in the open.
Yep. It's going to be debated instead of quickly put to rest. As this bomb is making its way over towards the A side of the map, all four of Fnatic are looking to charge down here. Are certainly two players defending this area, Henny and Vinny. What can they do?
Well, JW is going to be peering around the flower bed. Smoke in the eyes of Crim stops him from helping. That's why they're going to wait a little bit longer so they can push together and try and get a bench kill. A 1-for-1 trade is good enough on the approach. It could open up the site. Still 30 seconds. There is options to go through connector, but no one from Fnatic's there. For all they know, there's a quick rotation, and that could be the end of the round. Out in the open is Henny, vulnerable, begging to be shot by Brolan, who will oblige and put him off and banish him for this. Post plant again. Here comes the rotation. It's going to be Art. Now, can he find the timing to take one of these Swedes down? If he does, that could be the end of the map right here, right now. He's moving through the bathroom, though, and Crims is going to be behind him. The timing has worked against him rather than for him. And Case Serato is going to be wasting so much time just trying to check all of these angles to make sure there's no terrorist present. And in doing so, Brolan wide peeks him with the SG. His second kill, Fnatic's second round in a row. And Furia only have one more map point to play with.
Oh my goodness, man. It was even more of an uphill climb this time for Fnatic. It's been 1-2 halves from Furia each time to kick off each OT that Fnatic have had to battle against to hang around. Now it's an 0-3 start for Fnatic, and they might still find the same result. They might still be up to the task. They've done so very well. Brolan, again, has been instrumental in this. So many multi-kill rounds. They needed it most out of them. And Golden has Art down with fire. Not exactly sure how that happened, but now Fnatic are on track, indeed, to push us into another overtime. It's going to be so hard on Furia now. So quickly into a 4v5, and Vinny's taking that damage to the smoke. Oh, is he going to die through it? It's so close, man. Or Razor's Edge, but he does still hang around. Well, at 29 HP...
They only hurt one SG as well, so they have to stay in position around bathroom and long. Here comes Crims and the rest of the Swedes. The kill's going to go the way of Fnatic. It looks like they're going to return the favor. Clean sweeps reversed. We are going to be heading to another overtime more than likely. Henny and Yuri did almost pull off a 2v4 clutch just a few rounds ago. I mean, this is just such a tall order. Open the hands as ever of Henny. There's the slow peek, and JW won't be missing out on his chance. Flashbang through heaven. Henny's going to double flash it and then push down lower. Maybe already in his mind giving up on this round and focusing on the next and seeing if he can just keep his aim in. But if he slow peeks this angle, JW should have him dead. No, actually gets the upper hand onto him. Lightning fast shots. But there you have it. The reverse clean sweep. Another overtime.
This could have easily been 2 maps to CS already at this point with the scoreline like this. 52 round... No, that's not right, Matt. Wait, yeah, it is. 52 rounds played. Wait.
54.
I'm an idiot.
You just know NA math is now being...
No, I knew... Hold on, I knew it was wrong. Like, listen. It's always the mistake of a caster to do math in a CS match. You're never quite going to get it, are you? I even stopped myself and knew that I was wrong when I said it the first time, and then still said it again anyway. Jesus.
I mean, to be fair, it's been a long 3 days, so
it really has.
I'll let you off.
Yeah, thanks. I appreciate it.
Molly's exchanged one onto the back of B. Going to be locking down water. What they want to do is try and get Furia to throw out a few smokes and flashes to try and repel a potential fast play, but Furia not biting. They're not playing with this at all. 3 players here. Pretty much the standard strat that we've seen time and time again here, Dust. I mean, you're expecting it to start to repeat when you're this many rounds deep into Overpass, though, to be fair.
It is also a change that we're seeing today with AWP. We haven't seen that very often at all, so that is a little bit of a tweak. That could be the X factor. He's been really this, because he knows that Fury keeps challenging Monster, he really just wants to set up and try to get that pick, and I can't blame him for it because it has been challenged so often. But this time around, Furia are not going to give him anything to look at.
I believe if Fnatic did pick up this round, though, it would be one of the first times, if not the first time, that they'll take the lead on an overtime. They've always been coming from behind. Henny, though, doing such a solid job of holding down bathrooms, and it's just going to stay in position as a result of the smoke he's tossed in. You don't expect a player to push behind it, but Brolan is playing more of an interference role and try and ambush on the rotation. Good flashbang in. Yuri can't quite transition across and transfer for that second player. But information, damage, and the player advantage do fall the way of Furia. Henny maybe flicking across to Brolan. His reaction speed certainly isn't slowing down on this marathon of a map. But Fnatic will be. Again, Furia take the first round of overtime.
And they do it real clean. Only lose one player on that. Did happen for them as well, though, last OT, where they had a round like that where they survived with 4 members. It was one of the cleanest victories of the overtime. So it's basically a little bit of deja vu at this point. You know, it's hard for me to even get confident after a round like that because I've been failed so many times before, as many have, where they just thought that, yep, Furia's got this now. They've got it in the bag. And then they just still couldn't quite finish. Fnatic just still have too much left in the gas tank, it seems, but certainly they should be running on fumes by now. I know we all are at this point. It's been such a marathon.
Here come the entries again, though. This time Fnatic not looking like they will trail by 2. Cracking open the site. Nice work from CORSAIR. Muri in the meanwhile tossing the Molotov over, trying to block out the bathroom push. To a 3-on-3. Time, though, certainly on favor, or in favor of Fnatic. Yuri has just spotted there as he's jumping up and down. He's made a bit of noise, though, and Crims is up to the challenge. Just palms him away. Golden could be up to some kills as well. The smoke is clearing. And Vinny very slow on the flank. Because of the time, he has to still respect the potential that it is a fake.
Right.
It does mean he's coming up with 37 health, though, in the smoke. Surely, as soon as this clears, he is going to be dead. Whether it's Golden is a whole different question altogether. Going to flash himself out, making a bit of noise. Has made more progress than I was expecting, but the end result is the same.
What result is different, though, Vince? It's not going to be the 2-1 or the 3-0 start for Furia. It's going to be an even 1-1 right away. And that maybe, just maybe, could be the difference maker on what allows Fnatic to finally grab this game by the horns and take it away from Furia. But it seems like all logic has been pretty much riddled useless throughout this game. It's just been absolute madness at this point, which is how usually these types of things go when it goes on this long.
Brolan has seen a couple of players, one of which is Yuri, threads the headshot. Now Henny is caught, he's stuck. Even to get the 1 kill is pretty impressive. Art, last man on the A side. A call would have came through that multiple Fnatic players were spotted. He does want to try and go for a peek. It's more desperation than anything else. It's going to be to his demise. He will meet his maker. Delivered there from Crims's AWP. They now know where the last player resides. They're just going to head across the B site and get the plant down. And it does seem like we're going to have Fnatic leading for what feels like the first time going through into the second half of overtime. Unless CORSAIR has a 1v3 clutch up his sleeve. Some nade damage has been traded off. Crim should surely have him as soon as he comes round the corner. And Fnatic will lead 29-28.
Yep.
Sounds weird to even say that out loud. That's how many rounds we've had.
Yep, it's a race to 31, of course, at this point. I think I got that math right, at least. First time for Fnatic to have a 2-1 lead in one of these OTs as well. So, again, it's really helping them out a lot. I feel like a broken record for saying this, but Brolan has had so much impact on all of these rounds, bro. I can't tell you how many 2Ks I've seen this guy get on either side of the map from the terrorist perspective. It's been brilliant to watch him really come into his own. He was obviously kind of that young class of player coming up with guys like Sergey and Voxic and some of these other guys you see out there. And it felt like he kind of was getting overshadowed by some of those guys, especially with all of Inta's success this year. It was that Nordic nation that was doing a lot of the head turning, but now Brolin's really coming up now.
Yeah, I definitely echo what you just said. Roland has been so vitally integral for Fnatic to stay in this game and potentially even take it now, but it's JW caught just peering outside of bathroom, trying to take the first kill and stall Furia as long as possible. They have the right idea as well, and Roland through the smoke looking to try and pick up the AWP has been punished. Such a good read by Furia. Their golden opportunity to get back in this round and tie us back up once again. Flusher though, up closer position. We haven't really seen Fnatic play a great deal. It's going to get baited by Art into Henny's hands. And it's going to be a flawless round by the looks of things with Crimson a 1-on-5. Now, he has been phenomenal over the duration of the event, but this is just asking so very much of him. Molotov out in the back. More Molotovs are starting to connect. There's the first. Tagged up pretty heavily, though, down to 42. Does dish it out to Yuri on top of that on truck. But now post-plant to add to his woes. Only a smoke and a flash. Nade could be landing on him. Not quite. I was going to say, Scrim's thinking about saving because not really necessary with this much money left.
Yeah, just go out swinging. Throw some haymakers. Maybe something crazy happens. All you can really do in a situation like this. Let's get Yuri getting in here, but quickly silenced by Henny. Almost a team ace from Furia. A big round to respond to Fnatic's 2-1 start from the previous half. Keeps it right back into a neck-and-neck position. I'm kind of at a loss for words, Vince. I'm kind of running out of analysis to bring to the table. It's been kind of just everything out the window at this point. I think there's an expression for it. Something about a kitchen sink.
that is kind of the territory that we're in now.
Yeah,
like,
absolutely.
just start throwing the weapons at each other. Screw bullets. Well, JW gonna pack a punch with his AWP at the very least. Probably the weapon that would hurt you the most if it hit you. Will weigh quite a considerable amount. And a split up attack from Furia. They are very much isolated. Two groups of two, opposite sides of the spectrum.
Who's going to be able to get to map point first? It's going to be the question. Certainly Fnatic have their best foot forward after finding Art right away. They still have a nice little bait and switch at long A also, with JW's op backing up, Brolin in forward position. Not sure if it'll actually come into play or not, as it is still not really certain where Furia want to be taking this bomb, but we do at least see Henny headed that direction, so it could indeed wind up making a difference.
Molotov is in land by the feet of Roland. He's going to have to move out sooner rather than later. The flashbang from JW buys him some time, buys him his life ultimately. $200 well invested. Smoke depletes the Molotov onto long bathrooms. And now JW is going to be called upon again to thwart the attack, to repel the ambush that is being sprung. And sure, he's gone down, but with 15 seconds, a 2-on-4, they know there's a player on long in the form of Brolan. Even if they get this bomb planted, it's going to be rough. Russia does just run in by himself, and Yuri has picked up the 2 kills. There's going to be another one. Furia are holding on. And not just that, they're starting to put this away from Fnatic, but here's Crims. Who else but Crims would clutch a 1v2? The Swedish superstar is going to get Fnatic to 30 rounds first.
It was just 2 different big clutch attempts there, and it looked like Furia were going to be the ones to win that tug-of-war, but Crims had something to say about it. He had a fantastic series yesterday against G2, looking like vintage Crims yesterday. Now he's coming up pretty big for his team here. 30-29. A timeout has been called. Extra time to think things through. This time it's Fnatic on the map point end of things. It's been Furia most of that time that we've spent here. Fnatic always fighting from behind, trying to keep the game going. Now Furia finds themselves in that very uncomfortable position If Furia win this round, we go to another OT, and we have exceeded 2 maps worth of play in 1. By the way, just to give you a frame of that, Astralis is about to have 2-0 Vitality by the time it's taken us to do 1 map to CS here. They've won map 1, they're up 13-11 right now. So, that just to give you some perspective.
I've thoroughly enjoyed this. My voice hasn't, but I have.
Oh yeah, your throat's gonna be hating that. Real sour. Hating to see it. You're definitely gonna, you know, gonna need some, I don't know what you're gonna need to lubricate your vocal cords. You figure that out on your own, I guess.
Oh, the damage though through the wooden panels, and keep in mind that Fnatic are 1 round away from taking Furia's choice. Here we go, Furia. Gonna fight fire with fire, quite literally the Molotovs being exchanged, but it's all the way of Sweden so far. Good kill from Vinny to actually just double check the monster. And they're keeping in this. Furia gonna take us to another overtime more than likely. It's down to JW. The Wonder Child, can he do it again? Grenades not going to be landing on either K-Strat on 2 HP or Henny, pardon me. It's Vinny that is very healthy right now. JW putting the smoke down. Going to be pushing it, but there's the flick from Henny. The game that will not end. We have hit 60 rounds.
I mean, it's just so wild to see. When you think about how much early damage Fnatic did there, you thought you would see the end of this game. But Vinny, again, he has been the corresponding piece to Brolin for his team, where he keeps dishing out. I mean, I feel like the MVPs of this game are Vinny Sig and Brolin Sig. Like, those 2 weapons and those 2 players' hands have turned the tides of this match countless times, it feels. They are the spark for their respective teams that keep this thing going. The fuse has not quite run its course just yet.
No, sir. Not even close, evidently. And this is just the first map. That's the crazy thing. If this goes to 3 maps, this is going to be an insanely long series. These guys are going to be mentally ruined.
What about you? Are you mentally ruined yet?
I was yesterday, mate. But I'm loving it. I'm loving every second. There's a boost
Vinny,
there.
hello?
Vinny, there is a boost. He's seen it. Flusher. Decapitated. They now know there are at least 2 more players on B. It's a boost that Furia themselves are using. I think it's the first time we've seen Fnatic busted out, though.
Yep, it's also the first time we've seen it in like a rifle round like this. I mean, that's a lot of resources committed to one area on a full up rifle round, and it may come back to haunt them. JW, though, does catch Art transitioning back to the A side of the map and at least gets it back into a 4-on-4. Vinny posting up over here at Monsters. Like another little bit of a stack I thought was going on there for a moment at Sandbags. Indeed, I think there was a boost there. I think there is still a player holding that position. It's going to be Crims. So that could be something new as well that Furia must deal with.
Oh, there is JW. He seemingly is really starting to reach the levels we know he's capable of. He's been so big in these overtime rounds with the AWP. Bit slow in regulation, but there's nothing you can say about that 3K. Single-handedly, he's put them in such a good spot to claim the first round of overtime.
Big op kills from JW. He got the bomb down twice and is still guarding it.
4K.
Gets the hat trick. All right, excuse me. Yeah, 4K, my bad. Hat trick of keeping the bomb from being picked up, though. So it is going to be 31-30, a race to 34, or you know what, Vince? There's this other option that's on the table where it goes 32-33, and we play a 7th overtime.
Screw it, let's do it. Let's get to 100 scoreline.
Yeah, at this point, I just want to go for the record. What's the record?
I'm not even
sure it's
sure,
something
actually.
obscene. Isn't it that Pixel Fire game from a long-ass time ago?
What was that, like 60-something?
Yeah, it was something really wacky.
Oh, you have a while to go before we hit that mark, at least.
Yeah, we still... Well, let's just settle in then. Let's get ready. Again, there is a universe where this in the game just literally never ends.
Yeah, grab your popcorn, get yourself some refreshments. We're going for the long haul. Furia needing to battle back and bite down on this round. And Yuri, wide-peeking Brolan, picking up his 2nd of the round. The other victim, I should say, was JW, who again goes aggressive with his AWP, and this time is going to be found and dealt with. Fury going to be throwing up some Molotovs towards the back of the site. There is a Molotov getting extinguished, which is from Henny. Flashbangs also coming in thick and fast towards the site. There's a head just protruding over the top of the smoke, and that's Crims. He's been repelled. Really looking to impair this site as much as possible. The bomb's in an awkward spot, but Flusher peaks one too many times in case Serato puts the final nail on the coffin. That was doable. It somehow got down to a 2-on-2.
You know, saying it that way is just, it doesn't matter anymore, because I mean, like, you could say that so many different times at this point where it's just kind of shocking to see how close things really get. But indeed, it is going to be 31-31, as you've noted. 1 round left to play in this half. Who will get that 2-1 advantage going into the transitioning of the sides? We are going to see, again, Furia testing waters at B pretty early. Smokes, though, for good coverage. This is what we haven't seen a lot just yet. It's Art just going wild by himself at A. And he might be trying to do it this round. He is there alone, while 3 play outside Monster, and Yuri plays inside the connector. If he can be a difference maker, there is a boost right in front of him at mid that he's going to run into at some point.
So many times we have seen that wooden panel being the center of attention, with bullets passing through at either side. Hefty nade damage. Flusher on 9. Doesn't want to peek too many times now. Gonna throw one back and counter, and lands right on Art's face. Actually knocks him below 50. Crimson, meanwhile, flashed multiple times on the side. Here come the Molotovs. Here comes the push. It's a little bit earlier than it'd be anticipating. Not too many grenades were put down. Yuri boosted up on sandbags, able to claim the 1 kill. If he'd landed that jump shot, I'd have lost my mind. Fortunately for Fnatic, that's not the case. And now Brolan 1-on-4. The weight of the world is on his shoulders. Such a key moment in this game. He has been so very good throughout the course. It's only going to be the 1 kill. It's a double wide peak. Furia take the lead.
Just through sheer brute force. I mean, they even missed their Molotov on barrels, and actually CTs were able to get some pretty good positioning to defend that monster take, but still, Furia tearing through it all nonetheless, and now they're up 2-1 in the half. They transition over to CT, but they score 32-31. It's like, can I really favor them, though? I mean, how many 2-1s have they had that they couldn't close out on? What, we're in OT 6. 5 of the OTs, I think they had a 2-1 lead. It was Fnatic. No, actually, okay, so it was one time they had a 3-0 lead. 4 times they had 2-1, and then once Fnatic actually had the 2-1 lead, which is the last overtime. So it's still, the math hasn't added up either way.
Well, I will say, though, to put a caveat next to that, I'm pretty sure most of the times that Furia have been in the lead, it's on the T side.
Yes, that is very
Not
true.
on the CT side with a lead. So maybe this is the moment. They
it has
can
been a
reach
T-side
that
game all the
34
way
round.
through, right? Because regulation was 10-5 from T-side for both teams.
Yeah, exactly.
Does just kind of seem to follow that same trend. No one can figure out the defense quite yet.
So apparently, I just caught chat for a second. The longest game was 88 round.
Right now we're at 63.
Yes. I'm not sure what the exact scoreline was, but that's what I've been told. I may be getting trolled by Twitch chat. It would be the first time.
Yep, certainly would not be. Again, all is quiet early. Flush it, though, putting some spam through on the Vinny there. That's a different kind of spam. I haven't seen that used that often. Vinny was spotted by JW when he jumped the window. Can he do something about it? It's the real question. Doesn't seem like it. Meanwhile, we have this forward long A posturing from Furia, as well as Henny inside the bathrooms. He misses his op shot, though, but they don't quite get him just yet. Finally, he's found by JW. CT also discovered by Brolin Sig. And here we go. Fnatic might tie this thing right back up, Vince.
It's looking very likely, isn't it? 25 seconds to go, though. Just could take one passage of play and everything could come crumbling down. But JW with his block, his trusty sidearm. And Golden plus Crims gets Fnatic across the finish line for their turn to hit 32. There is no blueprint at this point, though, Dust. Like, there is no direct pathway to winning this game. I mean, this just comes down to mental fortitude. It just comes down maybe to a ridiculous call from one of the IGLs.
Here we go. Getting into the nitty-gritty of OT number 6. We're at even, as we have been so many times. One team will take a step to map point, though, in this very round. Door opening for CORSAIR. Art following up with the AWP. So Furia finding first blood in this one.
First blood could be wiped away, though. Fnatic on their T sides have looked pretty formidable, as have Furia. Henny peeking across. There's actually two players watching the same angle. Yuri's mainly being baited in by Henny. He's going to take a shot, then pull back. But I don't think this is going to come to fruition because Fnatic are, by and large, aiming on the B side of the map. There's no boost for them to worry about as of now.
It's very true. Golden setting up a pot flash for Crimson Company to clear their way out from connector into short. Now they do indeed have it. The only defense there is going to be CORSAIR's M4.
Oh, whiff Molotov. A whiff Molotov onto barrels. Some whiff grenades here from Fnatic is far from ideal, but it's still going to be the headshot delivered by Brolan onto CORSAIR. That's going to open up the floodgates. It was the first kill going to Furia, but everything else is going against them. Brolan with 3 in a row. The man is still on fire. It doesn't matter how long you play for. He is there until the bitter end. And not for the first time, Henny against the world at least has batted away Flusher to kick things off. But it looks like Fnatic are going to have another map point.
Indeed.
Henny going to be getting close, but Dust, I mean, surely he gets killed here.
Oh yeah, Brolan's got him dead to rights. A little bit more labor than I expected. Still stuck in the corner. Actually, Crims who finishes him off. And Brolan, he's had so many double kills, so many multi-frag rounds in general. That SIG has been so on point. You have to feel at some point, Furious like, man, does this kid miss? Like, can I just have a chance? He's just been so on point, so laser focused. It's so impressive, too, that he's maintained that through all these rounds of play. We're now on round number 66, and I feel like he hasn't let up a bit.
Nah, he has been front and center, typically going in first for the team and constantly getting at least 1 kill or doing a lot of damage in the process. He's going to take damage first off here from the HE and Molotov there. Here comes the smoke. They're going to be looking to just play very aggressively. This is a big risk, a big gamble in what could be the last round of the half. And indeed, the map. Flusher has burnt Vinny alive, though, after Brolan did quite a bit of damage to him on the approach. There is a flank, though. Art behind them on connector. If they decide to rotate back around again, it could be him that is the difference maker. The bomb has been dropped, though.
Indeed, it has been. It seems like he could really be the one that extends this game further. He does get in. He gets JW, but Golden, he's at least in the right place to catch him on his way back out. At least keeps it back even, and this does unlock the access to A, and because Henny knows that he must rotate this AWP back over into the site, this is going to soften up the B defense just a slight bit. And you have to wonder, what's Golden thinking here as the in-game leader? He's walking up mid by himself. He's going to try to clear out. He may even call the bomb over, depending on how much progress he can make. Or at the very least, he's going to dump some utility on A and try to draw a bit of a rotation. Try to get Yuri biting on the fact that it's going to be an A hit at the end of the day. But we know, at least for now, that Fnatic are still pretty focused on this B side of the map as Golden does dump that Molotov and flashbang towards A. But no one's moved. Furia's holding their position. They're going to just hedge their bets on this, and they're going to be right.
18 seconds. Golden can try all he wants to try and get them away from the site, but it's not going to mean anything. 2 lower time is on the clock, but 2 entries in the dying embers of the round. Flusher's going to be able to get the bomb planted down. Henny has 2 weakened Swedes up against him. Not far off landing the shot through the box. But now comes the hard part. Maybe a knife of frustration as he realizes this team have put him in a really awkward position here. He either clutches it or they lose their map in a grueling marathon performance off both teams, a display of both teams. And he is making moves slowly but surely. Flashbang over. He has spotted the first player on short, which is Flusher. Going to be tapping the bomb, trying to draw Flusher out into the open. Flusher is playing the time perfectly. He's not sure where Crims is. Crims is coming up for a monster. The time has run out, even though Henny's got the frag. He knows it's done. Fnatic have done it. In the 66th round, they take the map of Furia, breaking their hearts. They're 1-0 up in this game.
Indeed, they are. It was a long game. Again, in the time it took us to do this one map, Astralis 2-0'd Vitality, and those games actually went pretty decent distance. It wasn't like it was shutout, so definitely a marathon for everyone involved, the players, us as casters, you as viewers. It's been a great one. Trying to recap that's pretty much impossible, so I think I'll just leave that one for VOD review for those of you out there who care. I am Dust. With me is Vince. If you aren't sick of hearing us yet, after that many rounds of CS in a row, we do still have at least one more map to go in this series, potentially a 3, you never know. And then, in case you didn't know, we have a whole other best of 3 after this, the lower bracket finals. So we have a lot of CS left to go, even still, despite the fact we've already done so much. If you're enjoying the cast and you give us a follow, let's make sure what cast is in chat. I'm at Follow Dust, Vince at On Fire Vince. If you want to talk about all the matches, get involved in the conversation, make sure you're using that hashtag DMasters over on all the various different social media outlets. We would appreciate that as well. And yeah, that's gonna do it pretty much, I think. I don't think we really have anything left to say other than a shout out to our sponsors, CORSAIR, Monster Energy, CS Money, esportsmanagement.com, GG Bets. Be sure to give them the support as well as they do support us. And yeah, we're gonna take a break. When we come back, we're bringing Matt 2. Stay tuned.